And we are at Harpos in Chesterfield for a preview of the Border War. I'm Grant Salsman. I'm joined by Vic Faust. And Vic, we got Tigers versus the Jayhawks.
MIZ-STL.
Dude, I'm ready. I wish game time was tonight. We got to wait till what, freaking Saturday?
We have 3 more days.
Is it Thursday night yet?
Saturday night.
No, I was like, is it Thursday night yet? Damn, we still got to wait another day.
So, Vic, why don't you introduce us to our 2 guests today?
We got 2 guests. Yeah, Grant, it's great to see you, buddy. We missed
too.
our show,
we missed our show
on Monday,
so we made up for it here.
Yeah, Vic Faust here. First of all, we're at Harpos, and when you think of Mizzou football, you think of Harpos, the one and only. We've got our good friend, John Riker, the owner of Harpos Chesterfield, with us, and we've also got a former teammate of mine and legendary status, Mr. Ron James, Ron the Rhino James, who, if you guys didn't realize this, Ron, is it true, really quick, in spring football, before your senior year, Larry Smith stopped you from spring football because you knocked off the face mask of a Kevin Ford and knocked him out cold, our starting linebacker?
Semi-true. There's semi-true. He did hold me out after that. I hit him, and we were in our first scrimmage, and then they end up bringing an ambulance out and taking him off. But his face mask was still intact, I think.
Yeah, but his brain might have not been.
Was the rest of them intact?
So John Riker, the owner of Harpos, and Ron James, who had a legendary career at Mizzou as a football player, blocking for the greats Brock Olivo, Devin West, and Corby Jones.
Yeah, let's start with you, John. What's Harpos and Chesterfield like? The home for the St. Louis Mizzou fans, just an hour and something away from Columbia.
Well, I mean, it's the home for St. Louis Mizzou alumni and St. Louis Mizzou, fans. I mean, this place is rocking every Mizzou football Saturday or Thursday last week. It's an event. It's exciting. I'm going to the game this weekend at Columbia, and I can't wait. But my biggest regret is I'm not going to be here enjoying the festivities here also, because it gets to be a madhouse up here, and it's a lot of fun.
Ron, what about you? What's your excitement for the Border War being back for the first time since 2011?
Well, I think it means a lot, especially as old Tigers, and I can't believe that it took this long to get it back in motion. This should be a mandatory event every year. They should do it with basketball and football, and there's so much tradition there and tension between the 2 teams. It's college sports at its finest.
You know what, Ron? It's funny because I was talking with Grant and then Kylie, who's with us. Grant and Kylie just graduated. They have no idea what a football rivalry against Kansas is because we haven't played it over a decade.
No, none of these kids know what it means.
It's over a decade of Kansas, Missouri football.
They're going to learn on Saturday. I mean, it's not just a football game. It's a big deal.
It's war.
Yes, and I mean, it really goes back to the 2007 game at Arrowhead. I mean, might have been the most exciting football game I've ever been to.
That was the best Mizzou game that I've ever witnessed. Was that game?
All three of us said the best game ever.
I got goosebumps.
And that's
about it.
because that 2009 game following, where Mizzou gets a safety, then goes and kicks a field goal, might have been the second most exciting game ever, and it didn't even come close.
That's a great point. That's a damn good point, especially when you think about where we came, because it's always better. I'm sorry, and I may disappoint some people. It's better, to my opinion, when both teams are actually good.
Yeah,
for sure.
And believe it or not, Kansas actually had some decent teams at that time. And I hate to say it, but I think Kansas is a pretty damn good team as they come into Columbia Saturday.
Yeah, they'll be ready for it.
Hey, the Athletic has the Jayhawks ranked above the Tigers right now. I don't know what you make of that. They also have Florida State ranked 3rd in the country. But I mean, it's way more exciting when both teams are competitive. I mean, and this should be hopefully a game that we play every year, every other year at least, with the new SEC schedule. That this is a big game, and it's nice to have it back.
And I don't think it'd be a bad thing if Mizzou went Kansas, Illinois every other year.
Now you're talking my language.
That's what I was thinking too.
What do you guys make of it, you two that played in it? Would you rather have it early and get it out of the way in the week 1, week 2, week 3, or how the last week at Arrowhead kind of the whole season.
Let Ron.
What do you
answer
say,
this
Ron?
question.
Because I personally, I like that it's back at a college campus again.
Yeah, to me, it really doesn't matter as long as we get to play them. They're going to bring the crowd wherever, whether it's here, there, or in the middle. The Arrowhead thing, I don't know if I mean, that's one of the loudest stadiums probably in the country. So that's really cool. It's really cool for college players to get to play on an NFL field. And it's kind of a neutral site. But I love the student sections of both teams. So, if they want to alternate between and then throw one in every 5 years at Arrowhead, whatever, just as long as we get to play them.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what they did with basketball. Go 2-2 and then one neutral site.
I like that idea. I mean, 2007 at Arrowhead was maybe the craziest game ever. But then there was a few other games at Arrowhead where Kansas was uncompetitive and it was not as exciting. I like being it on campus. On both sides. Having it on campus, you have your hometown fans, you have the stadium. I agree. If they're both, I mean, what was it back in 2007? Number 2 versus number
2 versus number 4.
Yeah.
With LSU number 1 losing that day.
Yeah, I mean that was insane. But yeah, I like the on campus. I like that idea. I like the Illinois KU every other year. That'd be great.
There's only one thing about this. As much as I love Kansas and us playing Kansas, you know what it does? It further takes away from our supposed rivalry, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Because we're supposed to be Arkansas haters. We're supposed to have this SEC rivalry with Arkansas, which has been forged together. I think we can all agree we're not some big rival with Arkansas. We're just not.
Even though Kansas is in the name.
Yeah, exactly.
But
so now when you play Kansas, that's our rival.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then we're supposed to play Arkansas at the end of the year as if it's our rival, and it's not. It's Kansas.
It's like Clemson, South Carolina. It's like any of these big rivalries. Did you hear what the radio announcers in Arkansas said about Mizzou playing us every year? As they said, nobody wants to play Mizzou. They're the stinky kid that no one wants on their team and in grade school.
The same Arkansas we've been destroying.
We've beaten like every time but twice since we joined the SEC. Yeah. Of course they don't want to play us.
They're going through the
smoke
stages
them every
right
year.
now. They're in denial right now. They'll get there.
Now, what?
I mean, Arkansas is like the worst team in the SEC.
Yeah, and what I think with the Kansas on campus is it feels a lot better when you win at home. And then if you go and beat Kansas at Kansas, it feels a lot better too. Beating them in their home stadium.
Did you get a win at Kansas, Ron?
Not at Kansas. I don't think we did. No,
I actually went and looked through both of yours.
Yeah, you don't have to bring out my stats.
You're both 1-3
Yeah,
against the Kansas Jayhawks.
Yeah.
Not what you want.
We were young when we were playing them.
Yeah.
Glenn Mason was a cheater. I'll just put it out there. The former KU coach.
We won my junior year, and then we lost to them. We should have won those rivalry games, though. You never know how they're going to go, and that's how this might be too.
That was that 1997 team that was pretty good, and I think it was 15-7. It can be ugly and low scoring. Where you guys, I think in '96, destroyed them. That was
it was a beatdown.
And I wanted to ask you about what do you remember from Kansas goes and they march down and they're up 7-0 in that '96 game. Then Corby Jones makes 8 people miss and takes it 80 yards, and from there on out, you guys rolled Kansas. What do you remember, Ron, from that game?
I just remember being able to run the ball at will. I mean, we came into that game laser focused on being physical, and back in those days, I mean, we just pushed people around. And that KU game was really distinctive to me. I know I had a knockout on a guy. It was one of the running backs. Yeah, it was on.
Do you remember his name?
I think it was Eric Galbraith.
And it was on a special teams play.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah. Well,
kickoff return, maybe.
I was a wedge setter.
Yeah.
Back then when they had wedge, and I don't know if he tried to break the wedge or what.
Let me tell you something. When you're wedge setting on kickoff return, you don't really have a running start. You come back, you set up. The kickoff team is sprinting.
When you had the V set up, right?
Yeah.
That means that guy has all the momentum, all the strength, and Ron doesn't have any momentum. He stands there like a brick effing wall and knocked him out.
Yeah, it was fun. That was a great game.
Is that your most memorable game?
No, there's several. That same year when we beat Clemson at our house, that was a big win for us, and
it was huge.
It was the same way. We ran the ball at will. Devin West had a huge night. Brock Olivo, of course. Corby, he'd always show up. And then, the most memorable game had to be the loss to Nebraska in overtime. But we came to play that night. They were ranked number 1 in the country, went on to win the national championship. Couldas, wouldas, and shouldas. I do lay it on our offense. We should have made that last first down, and that would have never given the ball back with like 58 seconds left to go in the game and go down and score and takes to overtime.
The flea kicker game.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's also illegal to kick the ball up.
Yeah, sure.
No sour grapes. But I mean,
Grant and I spoke with Corby Jones a couple weeks ago on our MIZ-STL show.
And Corby said it was legal.
And Corby tried to say it was legal. And he's like, we blew it. We had a chance to win. And he said, I knew that we were calling a wrong play at the end of regulation. But he said, my former offensive coordinator, God bless his soul, Jerry Burnt, called the game of his life. And he's like, who was I to say, Coach, we should not run that play after Jerry called the game of his life? Corby said he did not agree with the final play.
Yeah.
He said he should have changed it, and he knew it, but he's like, I could not change that play as good as Jerry Burnt was that night. And it didn't work out. And then Nebraska ended up with the kickball, and, of course, the rest was tears and beers.
Yeah.
Now, John,
I mean, I love Corby. I'm buddies with him, but technically it was illegal. But I mean, we've been to the opposite of the benefactor on some of these calls like this. Going back to the 5th down and stuff like that. So we're used to it.
John, what do you expect this place to be like on Saturday?
Packed. I mean, every table will be filled. Every seat will be filled. It'll be busy. It'll be loud. It'll be exciting. It's going to be nice out, so the patio will be filled also. So it'll be good. It's going to be a great day for us. Hopefully, it's a great day for the Tigers, like I said.
And you'll be in attendance, though?
I will be at the game. I will be at the game.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited.
Ron, are you going to get a chance to get to the game, or do you guys – because your son is, I'm assuming, being recruited.
Yeah, we're going to go on for a game day visit that day, and we'll be down there, and he'll get to experience what it's like to be in the heated rivalry in the stands.
And for those who don't know, Ron's son, who's just a sophomore at DeSmet, is at least a 4-star, will end up being a 5-star recruit out of the St. Louis area, DeSmet High School, a tight end. He's been recruited. I know you're very humble. You don't like to talk about it. I don't know, 20, 30 different major colleges have already offered Ridge Janes. And I've had a chance to see Ridge grow up from the time that he was, I think, like 6 years old, playing with the 8-year-olds and dominating. So it'll be good to see that. I'll be there.
Well,
I'll be there. Ridge will be there. Ron will be there. And congrats to Ridge, by the way. That's got to be exciting as a dad to see. He's been offered by Mizzou, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he got an offer. I believe it was last spring sometime, or maybe it was early last spring. And it's high on his list, and we just appreciate the MU Tigers and how they pursued.
Did you tear up? Did mom tear up at all?
Yeah. There was some. It's funny. Some hit harder than others, as a parent. But we're very lucky. He's got a lot to work on, and we got a long way to go. But we're on a right path right now. And I don't, Vic and I have known each other for a very long time. We were actually locker neighbors whenever we were at the University of Missouri. I was number 34. He was number 36. When Brian Murray left, he was number 35, but we didn't have anybody.
Nobody was there.
Yeah, it was.
And trust me, back then, an extra locker space was a big deal.
Yeah.
It's not like it is now.
But it was when Vic moved back to St. Louis, he'd gotten in touch with me, and that was the first year I coached youth football, and I brought Graham. He brought Graham onto our team, and he was one of the best players I ever coached. His son is number 14 for MIZ-STL, but he was our quarterback, big time quarterback back in those days. And it's been fun watching those boys develop on that first team I ever coached. There's Graham Faust, Mason Martin is another one, and Ridge was on that team. But
Brendan Huddleston, was he on the team? Do you remember?
No, he was not. But Mason's going to go to Arizona State.
Yeah.
Graham, we're going to find out where he's going to go. He's been an awesome player in high school, and it's just been fun to watch them boys grow up and get big and turn into men.
It's exciting. Now you got a whole other level with the whole NIL stuff as well.
Well, I would just, selfishly, I would just love to see Ridge Janes at Mizzou.
Yeah,
I would. And I know there's a lot of factors. Your wife played didn't she play softball at Mizzou too?
No, she just she
but she graduated from Mizzou.
Yeah,
didn't she?
she's a bleed through black and gold tigress. Yeah, for sure.
Anytime think about this. How many Mizzou football players actually have their sons be able to go and play at the alma mater where they were at Mizzou too?
It's a good question. I have no idea.
Exactly.
Now, if you had to put into words this game, like what's it like? Because nobody on this team knows what this is like. They don't know what a rivalry like this is like. And Coach Drinkowitz has tried to get them to learn with talking on Fridays to a different speaker. If you guys had a chance to talk to the team, what would you tell them it's like to play in this rivalry?
Well, first and foremost, they got to know that they're playing for a lot of the teams before them, because the heated rivalry the tradition goes back so far ago.
1891 was the first game.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And the fact that Drinkowitz is going to have all those guys fired up and ready to go, but once they get a taste of it, those younger guys, and hopefully we'll just get to play these guys more often. But it's just an intensity of the crowd is what they're probably not going to realize. I mean, you guys have been to the KU basketball game when we play them, and the words that are said, especially at the Mizzou Arena, you're going to hear that about 15 million times. You'll be hearing it in your sleep come Saturday night.
And this game kind of defines the season, the early season a little bit.
Season,
if you don't come away here with a win, all of a sudden we're kind of like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay, what's going to happen?
Then you need to go back and beat South Carolina.
Right.
You're right.
Exactly.
But it is a great point, Grant, when you bring this up, because I think back to my days of playing. I always thought that we made it too big of a deal when Larry Smith came in. We were young. We weren't that great. I mean, my senior year, I was a year older than Ron. There was only 8 of us seniors even playing. Larry Smith came in and made it clear, I'm trying to run as many of you MFers off as I possibly can.
He did a good job. Yeah.
He's like, I wouldn't be, literally his first meeting, he told us, he's like, I wouldn't be here unless there's a problem. Something about the watch, it's now 7 minutes faster or something it was before. And we're like, the body's a resilient thing, and we're going to find out what your body can do. But when it came to Kansas, sometimes I just felt as if we were putting too much emphasis in it. We're all like, you can grit too much. You can go, oh my God, this is everything. And then you go out and not do what you're supposed to do. So if I'm talking to the teammate, I'm like, you're busting your ass for 4 quarters. I know it sounds cliche. Every single freaking play, there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, but it's that old adage. You're playing right now 4 quarters for the rest of this season, for the rest of your life if you're a senior, and you've got to give everything you can. But it's not just the game. It's what you do during the week to make sure that you're prepared and you know every freaking scenario that you possibly can, trusting your coaches. If the coaches get out coached, it's not your fault. The coaches tell you what to do. Be ready and freaking go out, and every single time you get a chance to freaking put a Jayhawk on their arse, you better effing do it.
Yeah.
Now, what approach would you guys steer towards? Coach Leipold of Kansas, where
that's not too much, is it?
No, I don't think so.
I'm right.
But Coach Leipold of Kansas said, we're trying to stay away from this game. We were trying to take it Fresno State, then Wagner. Now it's Mizzou week. Not really putting much stock into it until Monday. Whereas Coach Drinkowitz has really put stock into it for the last 2 years, ever since Mizzou started playing them again in basketball, and then has had a speaker in every Friday to talk to his team. Is that doing too much, or do you think it's the right thing to get the team to really understand what this means? Because a lot of, I think, fans think a certain way that players should know how things work, but not everybody does. Not everyone grew up around it.
I love Drinkowitz's approach on this. And on this one, I mean, he is spot on with this, and I just think that everybody's super excited from the fan world of it, and I just think him stroking the coals on that is a great thing.
And do you think that on top of it, that the players they'll begin to understand instead of overthinking it a little bit?
I think so. I think today these players are so mature, and they're so far out in front of the game and been trained. And they train year round, and it's just a much different, more focused thing these days, it seems like to me, and they'll be ready.
Vic, why don't we have, as you can see, a new guest in. Why don't you introduce him to everybody, Vic?
Yeah, for people watching on YouTube, they can see the good-looking guy right next to me.
Yeah.
His name is Rob Riti, All-American center. When Missouri started to turn things around and showed the country that Mizzou football could play with anybody, I'm sorry, I'm a line guy. It always starts with line. It starts with blocking. I don't care if you're a fullback, a running back, whatever. It starts with the line. Missouri started with an All-American center, Mr. Rob Riti out of the St. Louis area, Hazelwood West. Not only did Rob become one of the best linemen Missouri's ever had, he also, the 2 guys sitting next to me, did you hit 1,000 on the squat?
No,
that's
Rob
this
was
guy.
the only
This
one.
guy.
Rob Riti became the first 1,000-pound squatter at the University of Missouri. Whether that was a good thing or a bad thing, the guy did it. Rob, welcome to the show, man.
Thanks, Vic. Yeah, no, really good to be here. Thanks for that warm welcome, and good to see you, good friends. Hi, Rhino. Good to see you
Good to see
again.
you too, Rob.
Great. Really excited about the game this weekend.
And Rob, we were just getting off talking about their records. You're the only one here with 2 wins against the Jayhawks. You went 2-2. These
That's
two,
right.
unfortunately, went
Yeah.
1-3. And we were just discussing before you came here. What's that rivalry like from your perspective? What was it like to play the Jayhawks every year?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the students these days realize what it was like for us back then when we were all in the same conference and playing every year and had been playing for many, many, many decades. It was far and away the biggest game of the year. It's the game we got most excited about. I think if you look back through the eras, coaches' careers rose and fell with their ability to have a winning record against KU. And it just pretty much meant everything.
And then we were just discussing as well. What would you say to the team? We talked about how Coach Drink had had a different speaker each Friday over the summer to really get them ready. How would you describe it to the team if you had to? What this means?
Yeah. Wow, that's a great question. I think the dynamics, obviously, of college athletics and football are really a lot different now. I might say all your NAL is riding on it. I'm just kidding. But, no, I mean, I just try to impress upon them the history going all the way back to, the Civil War and everything that went into it. And I don't think any of these guys really have a rivalry game like this. So it'd be difficult to put it in perspective because I think you have to experience it to really know what it's all about.
And I think one thing, Rob, is kind of hitting on the college experience is much different now, especially as a college athlete. These guys come in and they're hitting transfer portals, and there's guys now that play for 4 different teams in 4 different years. So they're to be deep rooted in, come in with a freshman class and be brought up through that. It's a lot different time and a lot different perspective back then. And I would say it probably means a little more, but hopefully, we'll bring out the beast whenever we play Saturday and reheat the rivalry, so to say.
And I think one thing, even with the changing perspective, changing landscape, we still see rivalries matter. I mean, Miami and Notre Dame just played for the first time in 6 or 7 years, and there was still some scuffles after every down. I think that the players all around college still understand we don't like these guys. We might not know why we don't like them, but we know we don't like them. I think hate still exists in college football.
I agree. Yeah. You need to ask anybody at Auburn, Alabama.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. We have Rob here. I was going to ask Rob because there's a question that we were talking about earlier. When you played Kansas, did you really try to prepare any differently? Did you think you had to do something more? Because I always felt maybe it was after I look back, I was like, maybe we put too much into it, and that's why we lost some close games, 1-3, and so forth. Because I've always believed, yes, you got to go in the same way. You don't want to overdo it. You'll be gripping. But at the same point in time, at the end of the day, if you lose to Kansas, that's a problem.
Yeah, no, that's a great point, Vic. And I think before I answer that, I'll say that during my playing career, because I redshirted my first year. So the 4 years that I played, the home team won every game, which feels very much like a rivalry. It's like it didn't matter what the record was. If you were at home, you won, whether it was KU or MU. So that was my experience. And even in our really good years, so Rhino, 97, our big turnaround year, I think we played them away and lost. Yeah. So, I think you're right, Vic. I think we played for the same coach mostly. I mean, you didn't play for Larry your entire career. It was
I had 2 with Stoll and a couple with Larry.
Right. So with Larry, it was just old school taskmaster, guns a-blazing, and they really did put it into us that the rivalry game was all that mattered. And I think that kind of got into all the players too. So you're right. We might have played
That's
tight.
what I thought, and I love, God bless his soul, I love Larry Smith. I thought he was the perfect coach at the perfect time, and we saw. He showed Missouri that we could play with anybody, the state of Missouri, that Mizzou could be a national power, that we could win against the best teams, which is what you guys went on to do. You played against the best. You showed that these things could happen. But I also felt damn, it was almost maybe we were gripping a little bit. Maybe we were too tight against Kansas as well.
So then maybe it's good if the players are a little blissful to what this means. I mean, I think they all know, but if they didn't grow up with it, like you did from St. Louis, maybe it's a little bit of an advantage. I don't know.
I think it is. I mean, I do. I think back in those days, that was kind of like our bowl game. I mean, it was the biggest game of the year. because there was so much emphasis put on it. And I'm sure the coaches felt the heat too. But I'm just excited to have it happen again when we get to play.
And do you think some of it could be with Missouri's recent success is that their aspirations are more on, we need to win this game so now we can compete for the national championship, compete for the playoffs, especially after winning 10 games in 2 years. Like Missouri's been in games, not against Kansas, but they've beaten Ohio State in the last few years. They beat Florida at home to get into that Cotton Bowl, Oklahoma. Like they've been in big games recently.
I would say there's probably more pressure on Mizzou to come away with a victory than this than KU. But we're SEC powerhouse right now, and we just got to come out there and just play our game and do what we're supposed to do. I got a privilege to go watch some of their practices earlier this spring, and I thought they looked really good. They've got dudes everywhere. I mean, their defense. It was just to look at their D line and their linebackers. And
you're talking about Mizzou, right?
Yes.
I had the chance to watch those spring practices as well, 2 of them. The talent that Missouri has right now.
Yeah.
If you could break it down position by position, breaking down talent Missouri and Kansas, in my humble opinion,
easily,
there's no position that Kansas has better talent than Missouri. Maybe their offensive line, maybe, and quarterback. Outside of that, they don't.
And let's talk about that.
Missouri does.
Yeah, Jalen Daniels, 6-year quarterback for Kansas. He's a playmaker. He reminds me a little bit of Sellers, Castellanos. Like he can make things happen with his feet. But Vic, you talk about that O-line. It's banged up for Kansas, and I think Missouri's front 7 could absolutely dominate that Kansas O-line. But then, what does it do to a defense when even if 3 guys get home, that doesn't mean you're going to bring Daniels down with his feet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll answer the question.
Yeah.
I'm glad this first game is at Mizzou. I think Kansas has an advantage playing an extra game.
Okay.
I think Kansas has an advantage playing this game on the road to start. I'm not saying it's going to be an advantage from the entire game, but being able to go on the road, having played 1 extra game than Mizzou's still trying to figure out where they are. Because as Ron and Rob will tell you, there's a lot of progress that can happen from game 1 to game 2.
For sure. Yeah.
A lot. Kansas has already had that transfer from game 1 to game 2. Missouri's now, okay, we saw what we were. Now we got to see what we can do in game 2. For me, maybe I'm making a big deal about it. That's why I think Kansas has an advantage there, but Vegas still gives Mizzou a 6.5 point favorite.
Yeah, it's 6.5 point favorite. What do you make of it, Rob?
Well, I was just going to say that just speaking holistically, going back to when Ron and I were playing, Vic,
By the way, would you like a water, something to drink?
Water be great.
Okay, we'll get you one.
I was just going to say that I think playing like a mid-tier or lesser opponent first can be a blessing and a curse. I mean, obviously we had a really, really successful game last week, and I think that can build up the confidence a little bit too much when you then play a on par talent team. So that would be one thing I'd say that would be maybe concerning.
And then we have a question. Can Daniels and the KU run game win in the trenches, or will the Tigers pass rush shift the matchup? I think that's what a big question is, because Kansas right now has had a lack of a run game. They're losing Devin Neal to the NFL. So a lot of that is on Daniels. I think Daniels in the pass game and the run game is a big deal. What do you think that Missouri has the advantage with that front 7?
I would have to say, I mean, like they're off. KU's offensive line's kind of banged up. We're back to what Rob was talking about, though, coming in their first game and playing a much lesser opponent. What that does, though, it doesn't give you the ability to expose your weaknesses, so that's the advantage. I think Vic was hitting on earlier, but about them getting to get 1 extra game in, there's more of an opportunity to expose their weaknesses and correct those. And we'll be exposed to some weaknesses that Mizzou has Saturday afternoon, but we'll have to make the corrections on the fly.
Yeah. Rob, what do you have about that? The front 7, the run matchup, pass rushing.
Yeah, I think that's the question. When you're playing a really athletic quarterback like KU has, it's just a question mark if you can contain the person. I think it's going to come down to athleticism and being able to make plays, because against somebody like that, he can run away. So you just need to really have discipline on defense.
There's so many niceties, Grant.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's being so damn nice this week. I was like, come on. Coach Leopold was, Mizzou's so great and saying all the right things. Their defensive coordinator said
It's
Kid- the best. Was it the best offense that he's seen?
That's what he said.
He's like, this Missouri offense is the best offense he has ever seen from a talent standpoint. If that's the case, we're winning an SEC title. Then you had
Law. Is he watching Luther Burden tape still?
But then Coach Drinkwitz, did you see what he said?
He said that Jalen Daniels will be the toughest test they've ever faced.
The best quarterback Missouri has ever faced. They've never seen anything what Jalen Daniels can do. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting sick to my stomach.
Well,
Let's think
about some running quarterbacks they've faced. In 2023, Jaden Daniels, the one playing for the Commanders. Now
that was bad. That was ugly.
Okay.
He's pretty good, yeah. And their strategy there was let's sit back, let's not let him run, let's spy him, make him beat him with the arm. Well, he threw for almost 400 yards and added 100 rushing, so that didn't work. Then they played Tommy Castellanos, who we saw just beat Alabama and BC. He had a decent game throwing, but they hit him. They hit him hard, and he had 2 interceptions. I think that might be the strategy against Jalen Daniels is to maybe you get rid of the spy. Let's contain him. Let's make him hit him early, and then by the second half, he's so worried about where that's rush coming from. He might be more worried about that than actually throwing the ball or looking for his guys at the right time. Because I think those mobile quarterbacks, once they get hit a few times trying to scramble or in the pocket, then they're breaking the pocket immediately.
Well, they do. I mean, we can sit here. We can try to figure it out. We can figure out what they're trying to do. But we don't know. It's fun to talk about it. We don't know.
That's the point. We need to talk about it, Vic.
Here's what I'm going to say. I do think Missouri's defense is going to be as good as they were, a whole lot better in the defensive line. Rob, did you see the first game?
Yes.
Okay, Ron, you saw the first game, right?
I did not. I was on the road.
Okay, well, I'm going to say Missouri's D-line, in my humble opinion, was the only position that was maybe average or below average. That D-line is going to be ready against Kansas.
Yeah, they are good.
There is no doubt. The linebackers, I thought, who did a pretty good job, would be better, and they're freaking loaded on defense. Imagine a defense that has possibly 25 guys that could play against Kansas. 25 guys. Kansas isn't going to play a team or a defense like Missouri has in a while with 25 guys that could play. They're just not.
Not many teams to get a chance to.
I mean, wow. So, I mean, we can break it down. We can talk about it. But if you start putting pressure on Jalen, as good as he is and as old as he is, you can't throw the football if somebody's in your face.
Yeah,
true.
You can't.
Yeah, that's physics.
Now, are you worried at all maybe with the secondary? You know, I mean, not to put down Central Arkansas, but a lot of those guys could probably cover the Central Arkansas guys about 75% with how quick the pass rush was getting in there. The quarterback wasn't great. Is it then that step up is a tough to grasp after now you're going against guys as good, if not better than you? Is that at all a step up or
I don't think so because they go against each other in practice every day. So I don't think so. I think these guys are going to come in prepared and just ready to make plays, and the fans are going to be crazy. And I hope if you don't have a ticket, I hope you're watching it on TV because especially in the state of Missouri, kids that don't know what this rivalry is about are going to get the firsthand opportunity to see it.
That's a great point. Rob, are you going to the game on Saturday?
I'm not going. Vic, you can identify with this, and Ron, you probably can too. I got kids playing games at home, so
I did it for so
will they
many
be
years,
done in
Rob.
time for the game?
I hope to catch at least half of it on TV. Yeah.
Now, Rob, I want to ask you. So, Caden Green, obviously, all SEC first team, potential future pro. He kicks out from right guard to left tackle. Connor Tollison staying in his spot at center. What is that adjustment like for a lineman to switch spots? I know you switched from guard to tackle. What's it like for Caden Green to switch spots? And then what's the job of the center with a new quarterback as well?
Yeah, great question. I think moving amongst the offensive line has some challenges, but for the most part, the schemes are consistent from player to player, so that's not overly demanding. I think there's some technique differences between guard and tackle for sure. My biggest concern with somebody playing center who hasn't in a while is mainly the center quarterback exchange. But with almost 100% of it being shotgun, that's less of an issue, but still, if he has any nerves, getting the shotgun back there could be a problem. So that's be one thing I look for.
And what's with Tallison now, I think his third year playing center, obviously under control. What's his role as kind of the leader on that offensive line, another all-SEC player? And how hard is it to get adjusted to that new QB with Perbula after having cooked for the last few years?
Yeah, I think that's subtle. I think it comes down to kind of getting used to the way the cadence is called and the interaction. There isn't a whole lot of communication between quarterback and center once everybody's set. Mainly the center's focused on the defense and barking out commands to his line mates. But there's always some nuance when you get used to a new quarterback. I'd be interested to see that.
So it's been over 5,000 days since they played. Is that not just crazy to think about? 5,000?
It is. But at the same point in time, that's why I'm so excited to be there. Number one, you've got Kansas coming to Mizzou. Both teams are good, or at least appear to be good right now. It's going to be a beautiful day. Missouri right now, and I talk to people about this all the time. If you haven't been to a Mizzou football game on a Saturday and you're from the St. Louis area, and I know we broadcast just to the St. Louis area, but now being on YouTube, and by the way, I was asked, where can people watch us right now?
STL Sports Central, you can find us on.
On YouTube
on
right
YouTube,
now.
yes.
So people are watching us around the state. Our MIZ-STL show is for St. Louis. Get to a game. It'll blow your mind. Going to Columbia, Missouri right now, you pull in and you see the stadium and the new project that's being built in the north end zone.
Yeah.
And the stadium will be as good as any that you see, in my humble opinion. I know it doesn't have the history of some of the SEC schools, but my gosh, what Missouri has done is absolutely amazing. You see the facility, you see the stadium, the tailgating has ramped up, and now you have a good football team. The money's been put into it. Expectations are high. It's a blast.
What's incredible about college football is, and I think what separates it from the NFL, and the NFL is trying to catch up, but all the traditions that go on in college football. I've been fortunate the past couple of years to get to attend a lot of college football games, and like the production that goes into a game like at Mizzou off Row Field, the pyrotechnics, the songs played at the intermission of each time out in the third quarter, these producers, that whoever does that has got that stuff down to a T. And it goes on, where you talk about Alabama and they play Dixieland Delight and, Rocky Top at Tennessee and just all these different things. But I think that's one thing that really makes college football special and just separates it from the NFL thing and seeds deep traditions, for families and to talk about at the table and make a wonderful experience, wonderful game day experience for anybody that attends.
Yeah. And, I know in the St. Louis area and all over the state, there's a lot of alumni. And I just love going back to Columbia. I love going to Shakespeare's Pizza, and it's just so much fun just to be in town and see a game in the stadium is really an incredible experience. Ron, you mentioned the production value, all the songs they play, and not just the marching band, but like mainly over the sound system.
Yeah.
It's like being at a concert. It's really electric.
Have any of you been there since the renovations have started?
Yeah, I have.
In what time period?
As in the new end zone that they're doing now.
North end zone.
Yeah, but it won't be complete. They're working on it. It's going to be beautiful. It won't be complete till next year.
Yeah.
But
not since the spring. I haven't been there since the spring.
Yeah.
Being there on Thursday for the game, it was wow. Like you saw the pictures and stuff, but actually being on the field and looking up at it, I can't believe how big it actually is going to be. It looks beautiful.
What's crazy are all these colleges. It's like an arms race back in the 80s. Everybody's trying to spend as much money as they can for whatever reason. And there's just one project after another that's being put on the table and then completed and knocked down. I mean, everybody's got new facilities, new rooms to float pods and all these different things that are just so micro down. I'd love to be a player.
Well, imagine Rob and Ron, when you guys were seniors, if you were playing now, you guys would have $1 million contracts. I'm not kidding. What would an All-American Rob would have gone for $2 million a year probably right now? Seriously, you would have $2 million salary. Rhino, you would have been about $1 million a year.
That would have been a whole different trajectory of my college day, I think. But
they say guys take a pay cut to go to the NFL now.
They do. I don't know. That Ewers guy, the quarterback for Texas, he definitely did. I don't understand that decision, but he definitely did.
I just can't wait to get there on Saturday because I will be there. To see Kansas fans coming in, to see Mizzou fans. The weather's going to be absolutely great. We couldn't have gotten a better start time. 2:30, in my humble opinion. is the best time.
Yeah.
We got time to tailgate during the day.
Mhm.
You've got beautiful weather, a 2:30, maybe to 6:30 game, a Tigers victory. Then if people want to go get dinner, go to a bar,
Go
celebrate
to
whatever.
Harpos.
The Harpos in Columbia, or come back home and go to Harpos Chesterfield.
Yeah, you could drive back and still be
It's-
here for the night.
I mean, it's all set up. It is all set up for a wonderful day. And Mizzou fans are just so freaking excited about this. Now, we've seen basketball the last few years, and I love basketball. Don't get me wrong, Coach Gates. I love you, and I love our basketball, but it's different with football. It is different, in my humble opinion, when it comes to playing Kansas in football. And we get to renew the rivalry this Saturday, and there's nothing that I can imagine being better than Mizzou having a lead going into the fourth quarter, and we hear Mr. Brightside by the Killers, and you'll hear it in Kansas City, and you're going to hear it in St. Louis, and you know exactly what I'm saying.
Well, they're chanting beat KU, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
beat KU.
That's what the scoreboard says, right? Those are the lyrics.
Is it really going to say beat KU this year?
I hope they don't do it for Saturday. We
I
all know
very
what they're
seriously
saying.
doubt it's going to say.
Everyone knows. Now, Rob, we talked about before you got here about some of the most memorable Kansas games that these guys played in. Is there one for you? And is that your most memorable college game, or do you have a different game?
Hey, before Rob comes in, I want Brendan Schaefer to get in here.
Get Brendan Schaefer on.
Brendan. I want Brendan to come in and talk with these guys too. I'll take a little break.
Okay, you take
I'll
a
come
break
back
then.
in just
Yeah,
a little bit.
Sounds good. What do you say, Rob?
I think it was maybe, honestly, my first game as a redshirt freshman when I started playing after the year I didn't play at home, beating them last game of the year. We used to do it that way. It used to be the last game of the year, and then they started to change it up. But that was just kind of like an indoctrination to the whole fantastic history of the rivalry.
And we talked about this as well. Do you prefer maybe this early, get it out of the way, test early, or did you like the last game of the year built up to it?
Yeah, I mean, I think they call it rivalry weekend for a reason. It'd be nice to see it then, but I like it anytime we can get it now.
Yeah, and anytime we can get it for sure. And adding Illinois as well back, I think is a big get. Brendan Schaefer, welcome.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, Brennan.
Hey, glad to be here. Was listening on the way in and just enjoying the look back at this rivalry that you mentioned it. Yeah, you're used to maybe seeing it as the final game of the season, but my gosh, it's been 14 years since we've got to see it at all. And I think that's what it makes this one feel like almost as big as any have ever been. And obviously nothing probably tops 2007 when you're playing for number one.
Right.
But what's your sense as guys who were involved in this rivalry and now watching, the hiatus of 14, 15 years? How do you feel like those feelings are starting to bubble back up again for everybody that just is ready to jump in full feet first on Saturday?
Well, yeah, I think, Brendan, we talked about this a little earlier. It might be harder for the kids to kind of sink their teeth into the rivalry because they haven't been exposed to it. But
right.
I look at it sort of comprehensively. This could be an incredible year for Missouri football. And then I think when you layer on top revitalizing the rivalry and having that be like one step into what could eventually be a championship season,
Sure.
It really makes it fun to know it's like part of the big picture.
What's your take on just 14 years, no game, and now here it is?
Yeah, that should be illegal. They should have to play every year.
Oh, I'm with you.
They should have to play every year, and they should be mandatory. And, these seasons have gotten long in regards to they just keep adding on more games and more potential games with the college football playoff. And it would probably bode better if they got it done early in the season, for an out-of-conference game, obviously, and just set the tone for the year. It's a great way for these young kids to get up for the game, and it just means a little bit more than some other games.
Yeah, I mean, it obviously does. I think it's awesome, the college campus aspect. And we've talked about it a little bit, but just getting to have Kansas fans come to Columbia and then getting as Mizzou fans next year to get to go to Lawrence. And then if Mizzou, let's say they win here and then win at Lawrence next year, say we went to your house and beat you, I think that feels a little bit better than winning at Arrowhead.
Well, yeah, it does, because there's nothing like college campuses and the traditions that stem from them. And whether it's here or there, everybody, each school has its own traditions and things like that. And it does mean probably a little bit more than just playing at Arrowhead.
And when you guys were playing in the rivalry, those were on-campus games as well, right? They didn't
For sure.
start that Arrowhead stuff until a little bit later on. So you you maybe as much as anybody can have an understanding for what those campuses were like, rather than 80,000 or whatever it is capacity of Arrowhead. It was probably a pretty split crowd for those games, but not when you guys were playing.
Right. When we played, it was everyone was on campus. I can't remember. I don't think we played in any neutral site games. So it was kind of like all or nothing.
Yeah.
You had the house packed with the home fans, and it was just the opposite when you played on the road.
And I've seen within this week, I saw a post from a KU journalism student where you talk about the back and forth of this rivalry. They were trying to cross off the M's on different signs on campus in Lawrence, but they forgot the first M on one of the signs. And so, like, it's that sort of stuff. I feel like the social media aspect
Hold
of it
on a second.
almost.
They got a journalism school?
Well, they have one.
It's a journalism school.
It's supposedly pretty good. I don't know, but they seem to like it okay. But I saw the post where you say, okay, they were putting like tape over the signs on campus, as a way to block out the M, anything Mizzou related. The first M on the sign they missed. And so I took maybe a bit of a cheap shot, but I said, takes a KU education to do this and miss the first M on the sign. But like, it's that kind of stuff that I feel like getting the fan bases on campuses is what maybe an upgrade to the rivalry from when I was like watching it as a kid in the 07 to 08, 09 kind of range.
I think an interesting place to be this week would be in Kansas City, Missouri.
No doubt.
I mean, there is so much in the workplace, just in general. Everybody's you're declaring one or the other, and there's so much trash talk going back and forth, especially there on the border. That can't help but just elevate the whole tension of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, even on our side of the state, Ron, with the Illinois border,
Yeah.
at least we got a river, right?
Yeah, that's
they don't
right.
have that. So there's just like back-to-back
Mhm.
alumni from each school working together.
I see people commenting there's nothing good that comes from Missouri, and then somebody has to chime back. Both of the sports teams that you root for exist in the state of Missouri. I don't know what to say for you. I mean, that's the back and forth stuff that you have to deal with now. The social media stuff of it was not part of the equation back in the 90s. But what do you guys make of that aspect where now, like, we've known always that this is a rivalry where the fans really care, but you're able to kind of see on a day-to-day basis what people are saying and what goes on. I don't know the extent to which maybe that impacts the players, obviously, or maybe they see some of that stuff kind of on the side and go, okay, people really do care about this rivalry. But I'm not sure what do you guys think about that aspect of it, the social media part?
Well, that's an interesting point. When we played, coaches were just resolute that you had blinders on to anything that was outside the core focus of game preparation. But now, with players being more elevated in their equality with coaches, I mean, they're basically on par in some respects, that they have their own very vibrant social media accounts. And I think that's got to be part of it. I think they're very aware of all that.
Now, I'm curious with you two. Obviously, there's a lot of trash talk that can be talked on social media, fans, players, fans. Is there ever anything that was said to you during one of these games by a fan or a player or something like that, or a little fight that broke out that you can share that kind of that's stuck in your mind and made you realize, oh, this is what Kansas Mizzou is?
Well, somebody asked me just about 2 weeks ago about that. And for me, and the way I played the game, I didn't ever say anything to the opponent. I mean, I had mutual respect for him, but I was just there to do my job and just focus on that. I never said anything. And honestly, I don't ever remember anybody ever saying things to me. It's a way different world in which we live now, when people can be, they can create media content by being loud and obnoxious on the field and kind of elevate their status that way. And I think that's a lot what you see these days. But back then, everybody had a job and tried to just do their job. You'd always have one or two defensive backs, right? Would always be out there chirping.
That's what it would be, huh?
But I was so, folks, even the loudest stadiums that I can ever remember us playing in, I could always hear my quarterback. I was always focused on what was coming in, and it's really a neat feeling. It's a very unique feeling to be out in the middle of a college stadium. I remember we played in Texas A&M my true freshman year, and we got mollywopped down there. And I remember how loud that three-decker stadium was. I think they had 80-something thousand screaming down on us. And I remember that one being loud, but I wasn't ever in the game. Just some of these stadiums get so loud. But back to your point, no, I don't ever remember anybody really talking smack.
Rob,
Any good juice?
It was very common on the line, Ron.
I was gonna say,
In the
yeah.
backfield, you
Yeah.
didn't hear it much, but when you're this far away from another guy's face, I remember the KU guys being gentlemen mostly.
Okay.
There were some other schools, not so much, but I think to Ron's point, we respected one another. It wasn't one of those I don't know. My peers might feel differently. I don't feel like it was like an I hate your guts rivalry as much as it was like I really want to beat you, but I respect what you guys are. Where
Interesting. 'Cause
And-
I don't know if the fans. I don't know if from a fan base perspective, if that translates or not. But
I think there's like a fraternity in being an athlete.
Sure.
So there's an element of that. But we definitely wanted to beat him, and
And
that came through.
it feels like that's with certain rivalries, like with Mizzou, Kansas is one of them. Even I would put Auburn, Alabama, where you don't really see scrums and fights break out often. But I feel like every year, if you're watching Oklahoma, Texas, there's a fight maybe every other year. Maybe
Egg
that's 'cause
Bowl.
the Egg Bowl
is
as well.
another one
Yes,
that-
yeah. But there are certain rivalries like that in college sports where it's almost like you play the 7-second play, we go back to our own huddles, we do it again. Like it's not just constant shoving and trash talking. And it might be. Maybe these 14 years have built that up.
I mean,
to
the Larry
where-
Smith team just wouldn't do that, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we couldn't do that.
I can remember some fan interactions, not necessarily on fit, but on. I don't know if you remember this one, Rob. This is going to jog your memory. When we played at Texas, and I remember we were playing down there, and there was two pretty good running backs they had. I think they had Priest Holmes and Ricky Williams. They were in the backfield.
Oh, they're okay.
Yeah, they
I've heard
were.
of them.
But I think we were up or we scored first. I can't remember. But Justin Wyatt came out, and he's like, he did a hook 'em horn thing and goes down like
did a
this.
horns down on
Yeah.
him?
And their fans were right there at our backs.
Oh boy.
And next thing you know, he turns around, and I'll never forget this. It just started out real subtle, right behind our bench. 90 sucks. 90 sucks. And the whole stadium started saying 90 sucks.
Justin's
calling
number.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was such a funny moment. And there was another one in that same game because do you remember that hurricane that came through there?
That was 96.
Was it 96?
Yeah, that was my first year I played. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, but we were.
That was the first game I ever played, and maybe the only one where they actually had to stop the game due to weather.
Yeah, that was a bet, but that field was incredible. It had that crown on it, and it was grass, and it was a monsoon that came down, and there was like a 45-minute rain delay. This is another one I can throw out. Coach Tobe, our strength coach, he was handling business. He kind
Now
of
with the Chiefs.
Yeah, now with the Chiefs, he's a pretty good coach. He's been around a long time with the Chiefs, had great success. He was so funny. He's a big, tough guy from New Jersey, and the fans from Texas were throwing stuff on us. And he says, "Don't pay any attention to him. Just don't even pay any attention to him." And Kurt, our friend Kurt LeBret, he comes running in. He says, "Oh my gosh, you're never going to believe this." When he was saying, "Just grab the stuff and try to get in," because the monsoon was hitting, and somebody threw a beer and it hit Coach Tobe. And they had to restrain him from going up and attacking one of the person who launched the beer.
Sounds like
It was so funny to hear some of those stories. Another one, I remember K-State. Their fans, they were not very good, and they just got good. And their fans were so obnoxious. They probably had the most obnoxious fans of all time that I remember.
K-State.
Yeah, and their stadium was probably 45,000, but it was loud. I mean, they could make some noise, but they had just gotten good. Coach Snyder had turned their program around.
Yeah.
And they had 100 years of crappy football built up inside of them. And they were rowdy.
I like hearing that about the Kansas State fans simply because and Mizzou's got this going still today, and it'll be another one on Saturday. They've got the sellout streak going.
Mm-hmm.
And that Kansas State game, which was, another Big 12 rivalry, and you welcome that as a non-conference game when it happened. Mizzou with the Harrison Mevis kick to win it from 61 yards or whatever it was, and the fans rushed the field. There was a lot of commentary from K-State fans after that game, basically hyping up and saying the only way you guys can sell out your building is because
because we're there. Yeah.
Geographic proximity. Our fans traveled to help you sell the building, and then however many games later it is, Mizzou's still selling out the building in another season. So even against Central Arkansas last week, that was another joke where it says, "Hey, all thanks to Kansas State for allowing us to sell out this game against Central Arkansas." But it's funny to hear those perspectives of the fan bases that that maybe you didn't appreciate as much playing against. Rob, was there one for you where You mentioned maybe not as many interactions with the fans, but with the players, you called them kind of gentlemanly with the KU guys. Was there another one where you said, in my personal experience, I didn't like them, didn't like their team, didn't like their fans? Is there one of those other than the way you felt about the Kansas rivalry?
I'm reluctant to call any school out, because I blame my memory. It's been 20 years now, but I wouldn't say one stands out necessarily. They're all good in their own way, and challenging in their own way.
Okay, fair enough. But the Kansas one is the one that we're excited about.
Do you, Rob, have any memories like Ron had of just things going wild at a game?
Well, I think I do. I have little anecdotes, like Ron. I guess I'll call one school out. So I think it was 96. It must have been like the first year I was playing, and we played at home against the University of Memphis.
Oh.
And or they might have been called Memphis State back then, but those guys, they seemed like they were like on the defensive line, they were like 38, like all swore like sailors, and I was like, get me out of here! Like, I don't even know where I am anymore. I was like 19 years old, but yeah, that was a trial by fire. But just from there, it just kept going.
On the flip side of that, one of the best stadiums I remember. Do you remember playing in Nebraska?
Yeah,
those fans were so super. I remember they were killing. We were down like 21-0 or something, heading into half, and and their fans were lining up. Come on, guys, keep your heads up. And they're clapping and cheering, and they just want to see good football. They just want to see a good. Now they're probably a lot different now, but
they still want to see good football. There, but they just don't do it anymore.
Yeah, but I remember some of their fans were just as gracious as could be.
Yeah, because they probably knew they were winning big and maybe felt good about the outcome.
Yeah.
Now, we talked about that 1996 game against Kansas. I think it was Mizzou on a 3-game losing streak up to that point. You guys ended up killing them. We talked about it with Ron. Do you remember, Rob, that play, the Corby Jones play that Kansas had marched down up 7-0 and Corby takes it 80-something yards to the house on the first play from scrimmage for you guys? And from there on, I believe it was 42-25, and it was a real rout of the Jayhawks.
Yeah, no, I do remember that, and honestly, I felt like it kind of set the footing for the next season because that was kind of a breakout year. But yeah, that was great. I think that's why that was one of my fondest memories of the KU-MU rivalry.
Now in '97, obviously you guys successful. I think you beat Colorado, Oklahoma State, another ranked team, maybe it was A&M. But you fall to the Jayhawks 15-7. Now, I bring that up because Ron was talking about it earlier, and maybe we can dive a little deeper into it. Is that maybe something Missouri needs to be careful of? Because you guys, I think you could say you're better than that Jayhawks team in '97. If you play them 10 times, maybe you win 7 or 8. And I think we can say this Mizzou team's probably better than Kansas as well. Maybe same thing. They win 7 or 8. But how do you avoid that 1 or 2, like how you guys did slip up? How does a team now, almost 30 years later, avoid that?
Well, that's the wild card in these heated rivalry games. That's what everybody's coming to see because all gloves are off, and it seems like if anything's going to go wrong, that's the day to do it. And there's countless times over the years the team that's supposed to win doesn't. That's why everybody shows up and watches the game.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I think going in our favor, of course, we got them at home. It's on the road for that game. And the other thing is just like speaking generally, we talked about what it was like to play for Coach Smith. I feel like coaches nowadays, Coach Drink specifically, does everything to optimize performance.
Yeah.
From a psychology standpoint, from a nutrition standpoint. So, I mean, I feel like they're going to be ready.
Yeah,
I really do.
I believe in Coach Drink and what he's got going on there at the program. I've gotten to meet several of the coaches over the past year, and our old teammate Brock Olivo, he's at the helm in there somewhere, and he's
special teams.
Believe me, he is definitely letting them know how much this rivalry means. And I don't know. It's just, again, I go back to saying what I've said probably 3 or 4 times on this cast is that I'm just excited to get to be a part of it and go get to experience it again.
Brock Olivo, that might be one of the guys in the building that does have the ability to sort of translate that to the younger generation and say, here's what you don't want to forget about this game when we play it on Saturday.
He is absolutely the best speaker. Like he gets them guys motivated. I've gotten to hear him so many times over the years. He's actually going to be inducted into the Mizzou Hall of Fame on Friday night.
Oh, wow.
And unfortunately, I don't get to go to it. I was invited. I would have loved to have been there for him. I got to go to when he got inducted in the Missouri Sports Hall of Fame earlier this year. I think it was around January down in Springfield. But this one, his number's already retired there, and his name's on the Ring of Honor around the stadium. But I know Rob feels the same way I do. Every time I see him up there, I feel like it's my name too, because we helped him block and make all the yards that he did accomplish. He had such a stellar career there. But back to him speaking, he is the best, most motivational public speaker. When we were at that thing down in Springfield for his Missouri Sports Hall of Fame induction, I mean, he had people moved. I was juiced up, ready to go.
I like hearing that.
Go play some football.
So he's giving you think he might give the pregame speech to the Tigers?
I think he'd be a really good candidate for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Now,
tie in the history.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you talk about blocking for him, both of you in 1997, having 4 500-yard rushers that year between Corby Jones, Brock Olivo, Devin West, and Ernest Blackwell. What's that like? To not, it's a big deal when you get one guy to 1,000, but to get 4 to combine for 2,000, what's it like to have a backfield that deep, and with you guys part of the charge too, blocking for those guys?
I think Rob would, support me on this one. It really didn't matter who was back there. We knew the job was going to get done, and it just made our job easier. All those guys were electric players, and I wish we'd have gotten to see Devin. I wish he didn't get injured his senior year, and I wish he would have got to see him play on Sundays. He would have had a phenomenal career. Ernest, he was probably the most unbelievable athlete Rob and I probably ever saw. I think you'd agree with that, wouldn't you, Rob?
I would.
Yeah,
Very special.
He was absolutely a unique player, and I wish we could have got to see him run the ball more sometimes.
No doubt about it. One other thing I'd say about that 97 season is, and I think this keeps it in perspective, I remember playing at Iowa State, and we were driving. We were like at the opponent's 35-yard line, maybe the 40-yard line. And that whole drive, they were in goal line defense. So there was no question. We knew we were running the ball. They knew we were running the ball, and we still got a touchdown.
Yep. That's what you love.
And I think maybe if Missouri, you could see Missouri adopt that a little bit more this year. I'm not saying they're going to run it as much as you guys did, but with the guy like Bo Perbula, who Corby Jones, I had him on a show. Brock Olivo told Corby that Bo reminds me of Corby Jones. I mean, that has to be a very good for you guys to hear that playing with Corby. If there's a guy even half of what Corby was under center, you got to feel pretty good about that. And maybe with Ahmad Hardy, one of the most talented running backs Missouri's ever had.
I was going to ask that your guys' impression of him so far, because the blocker that guy.
So I got to go this spring and watch them practice firsthand, and Bo really, really impressed me. His ability to run is off the charts, and I don't think anybody's even realized that yet. They only got to see one look at him.
That's touchdown run he had, that scramble in the pocket. Yeah.
And he is a unique talent. And then the running back, actually they're loaded at running back right now. And I don't know, there's so many weapons they have. Their tight ends are really unique. Their wide receivers, they've got guys stepping up, and their offensive line, they're going to be a phenomenal team to watch this year.
Rob, you have any impressions of Bo Ahmad Hardy?
Yeah, no, I didn't get to see a lot of the spring practice, but just going off the first game, I think you're right. I mean, just really rare talents and could be explosive. As I say, I want to see them against top-tier talent, but I think they got the goods.
Yeah, and you mentioned the tight end with Brett Norfleet. He's huge. I mean, I saw Rob walk in here, and I thought you're a pretty good, tall, big guy, Rob. I saw Brett Norfleet in person, and he's even bigger and taller. And after seeing you, I didn't think it was possible, but after seeing Norfleet in person for the first time, I was just almost shocked by how big he is. That's like having a sixth lineman out there. Like, I think there was a couple clips of him chipping against Central Arkansas and just laying DNs on their butts. That's a huge weapon to have, especially no fullback like what you played. You don't have that extra blocker anymore. So to have a tight end and Jordan Harris as well that can block well, how big of an advantage is that when you have pass catchers who can lay the boom on linemen as well?
Yeah, it's crazy the size of those tight ends on that team up there.
They're huge.
They're both like 6'6", 6'7", 250 to 60 pounds, and they're very athletic. I think Brett, he's had an issue staying healthy, and if he stays healthy this year, he's going to have an incredible year. But anyway, that thing, there's another kid that's from Francis Howe. He looked really good. They're like 3 or 4 players deep at tight end that any one of those kids can show up on the field and really do some damage to the opposing defense.
Yeah, I believe that's Justin. Gosh, now I'm
Jude.
He had a touchdown against. Yeah, he had
Oh,
a
he
nice
did?
touchdown. Yeah, against
Jude James.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
Jude James. Yes, that's what it is. How much is that as a lineman when you have a guy that is supposed to catch passes, be able to block? How big is that?
Yeah, I think it goes both ways. I think when you've got a multi-dimensional tight end who can do both well, it's just another element that confuses the defense. Because you're right, you can make plays look like running plays and pass plays and vice versa. So it's critical.
I want to ask you this, Rob, from a perspective of a lineman, when we kind of come into the camp and think, all right, All-American left guard in Caden Green, but then we get to the end of camp and he moves out to left tackle. Just from your perspective, what do you believe that we're going to see from Caden Green? Move in positions to a position he's familiar with, of course, but that left tackle spot is obviously so important. They've said, hey, we've got some good guys we trust to play guard. Caden Green's time is here to play left tackle. Just how do you view that kind of the shuffle that Mizzou sort of had to go through in August on the line?
Well, I just say that I think, speaking broadly, most people agree that the left tackle for right-handed quarterbacks, most important offensive line position. So I guess in one hand, I'm not surprised that they put their best player in that position. On the other hand, there's some technique challenges and some differences playing tackle versus guard. So that just tells me that they've got a lot of confidence in his ability to make that move, or they probably wouldn't have done it.
Yeah, I think that's the question. Then you lose Armand Mimbu as well. So you lose your best player, you fill the position with your best player as well. I mean, it's not a terrible strategy to have, but what's that strain like too? Losing Luther Burden, your best receiver, your quarterback, your right tackle,
A lot of turnover.
your other receiver. Like they brought back almost no production from last year's team. What's that like as a play caller, as a team to try to?
But I mean, it's hard for me to say because
with
like
that,
you talk to Drink and you'd be like, I mean, I'm hearing commentary like we're not that concerned about getting freshmen anymore.
Right.
I mean, this just isn't. I don't speak that language. You always wanted the best recruiting class. That's how you built your program. It just doesn't seem to matter anymore.
Yeah, we wouldn't even mention the name Brady Cook, but I mean, he's another huge production.
Exactly.
But replacing him, but the ability with the transfer portal and NIL stuff is done is giving teams the ability just to reload and go out and seek free agency to fill spots that were needed. And it's really a unique time in college football right now. But I'm with Rob. Like you take your best player and put him out left tackle, most important position, because you want somebody out there that can effectively block like a wide nine technique coming in, deal with people in space, and keep them guys off the back of your quarterback because they're wrapping up. I don't even know, millions of dollars just on the
that's
quarterback.
the challenge because as a guard, you didn't have to do that. So that'll be a key player to watch in this game.
Key player for sure. And you mentioned the transfer portal. Like, I think that's more of the reason that Missouri and other schools are doing it, but taking that approach of, it's great to get the freshmen and develop them and keep them in the program, but without that guarantee that you can keep guys for all 4 years that they're going to be around, you see them go to the portal, and when there's a finite amount of resources to be spent, if you will. I mean, we know Bo Prabula's getting NIL. Ahmad Hardy, the advantage there is a guy that produced in the Sun Belt Conference. He was their freshman of the year at running back. You say, hey, this guy can really fit with the way that we like to run our scheme and the way that you get that proof of concept almost to say, would I rather spend money on that or a high school senior that I'm not sure when they come in what their production's going to be. I guess that's part of the new math, if you will, for what coaching staffs have to figure out.
Yeah, I'll use myself as an example. I came to Mizzou. I was like so many offensive linemen. I didn't have the body to play. They redshirted me. And then I worked myself in the next year and turned out to have a really successful career there. But on the other hand, I think in today's lens, I would have been a liability. Like, who needs that guy? Why do you need a guy that's going to take 2 or 3 years to develop when you can just go to the transfer portal and get somebody even better? So I think it just changed the dynamics and the economics of how you recruit, how you build a team. You bring in general managers, you bring in capologists. It's just totally different.
Is that a hard thing to do, though, plug and play when we're talking about linemen, where you come in from another place and you have to fit the culture and the scheme and all those things?
I think Rob can speak to that a lot better than me, but I do know that as an offensive unit, you got to gel with one another.
Right.
And there's got to be a certain amount of time that you're spending with each other. And I just don't think I don't think that these college football teams now have the I don't know what the ability to go out and like we were and grow up together and learn together and bond with one another.
Sort of that continuity that you build year after year after year.
Yeah.
Ron, the esprit de corps. Is that what you're looking for?
That is not what I was looking for, but I'm
Probably
sure that
right,
fits,
though.
but
Yeah.
I'm sure it fits the bill.
Now, what have you guys made of Elijah Drinkwitz and Missouri's way of? Obviously, they're taking advantage of the transfer portal, but they're still getting freshman recruits, and it's not like we're Clemson. They've done nothing with the transfer portal. Still, almost like it's old school, which I don't think you can really do anymore. You have to adapt.
If you keep your guys, you maybe can. But that's tough.
But that's tough. What have you made of their recruiting strategy, trying to pay attention to both?
Well, as I said, I mean, it's new to me, this concept, because I'm kind of a dinosaur. But Drink has come out and said, like, hey, don't worry about us not having an A-chip, blue chip recruiting class. I've got a plan, and I think it's proven effective. So I would have said, oh no, you need to have chemistry, you need to have some kind of cohesiveness on a team, but I've been proven wrong.
Ron, I think coaches would prefer exactly what you're talking about, to have that continuity, to be able to develop the core of your, whether it's offense, defense, the core of your group year over year, and then, year 3 of that class, it's going to be even better than it was in year 2 and year 1. But I guess they have to almost react to the times, because it's a rare culture, and I don't even think it's any coach's fault. It's just the times to say, well, we would love to keep these freshmen, but when they spent big and were able to get a Williams Nwaneri and a Courtney Crutchfield, Kawan Lacey, all those guys were freshmen last year who played sparingly, and now they're at other places, other big-name schools. And, the money that we know was spent on NIL, Mizzou didn't really get production out of that. That's been Drink's mantra, is production over potential. It's hard to wait on potential, I think.
Yeah, they're learning on the fly just like everybody else is. And as they do this, because, I mean, offense, you got to develop a rhythm throughout the season, throughout each game. Sometimes you're hitting on all cylinders, and then boom, the next drive, somebody's jumping off sides, and your guys are missing. Somebody's dropping passes.
Right.
But I don't know. Me and Rob, we're from a different era, and so our perspective is a lot different. This is essentially it's pro football.
You called it free agency a little bit ago.
It's free agency,
but even more, it's like every year's free agency.
Yeah.
In pro football, there's contracts.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Now, before we let you guys go, Rob and Ron, we need score predictions for Saturday. Tigers, Jayhawks, first time in 14 years. Can you guys give your score prediction for this one?
35-14 Tigers.
Oh, I love it.
Woo!
I love
and
it.
how, if I had to ask you to give a little, how do they get there? Is it because they just run all over Kansas? Is the pass attack strong, or do we see like a balanced look?
I think it's going to be a balanced look. I think with our running backs, the way we're stacked back there, and the ability of Bo at quarterback to make plays, on his feet. I think we're going to do it running the ball and throwing the ball. He makes a lot of good decisions. Like I said earlier, we were fortunate enough to get to see him in the spring. He's a very heady football player, and I think they did an outstanding job bringing him into the organization.
Rob?
Well, it's rivalry week, and, I kind of almost want to be like, Bears super fans. The Bears.
Right. 100-0.
Yeah, I think 42-17.
Okay.
We score in each phase of the game.
Okay.
Defensive touchdown, special teams touchdown. The rest.
Well, how's the special teams touchdown come?
I'm tipping my hat to Brock, our good friend who's going to the Hall of Fame. He helps out on special teams, so I think it's probably going to be a punt return.
Ooh.
I mean, Kevin Coleman last week had, I think, more return yards than a longer return than any one return that we saw from last season. If he can get loose, maybe make something happen.
He's an incredible player. I remember seeing him at St. Mary's. He was unbelievable. And then he went to Louisville and then
Mississippi
State.
Yeah.
Now he's back home, and we're glad to have him.
We are glad to have him. There's no doubt about that.
Well, Rob and Ron, we were glad to have you guys on. We really appreciate it.
Truly
Thank
our pleasure.
For stopping by. And we'll have to get you guys on the airwaves again, hopefully to react to a Mizzou win and preview maybe another game down the road.
That'd be fun.
Sounds
great.
Yeah.
Tigers.
All right.
MIZ.
ZOU.
Thank you, guys. And for everyone listening, want to tell you about our sponsors at DraftKings Missouri. Get ready. The wait is almost over. DraftKings Sportsbooks, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is coming soon to the Show Me State, and you can sign up today. New Missouri customers can get $300. That's $300 in bonus bets when we launch on December 1st. Download now and place a $5 bet when we go live. DraftKings Sportsbooks brings everything you need to elevate your game day, including live in-game betting, lightning-fast payouts, and endless ways to get in on the action, all right from your phone. And when we officially go live in Missouri, you'll be betting with the Sportsbook app trusted by millions. Safe, secure, and it has fast money withdrawals. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code STL Sports to grab the $300 in bonus bets with just a $5 bet on December 1st. That's code STL Sports. Call 1-800-GAMBLER, 21 plus, physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Excludes customers who redeem pre-launch sign-up offer. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. And we're back here at Chesterfield and Harpos. Oh, hi, Kylie.
Hey guys,
What's
how are
going
you?
on?
Kylie was texting me saying, I don't know if I want to come on. Well, you were told you're coming on
I know,
by
that's fine.
the bosses to be over there.
I
Kylie
know.
Hansen, I'm Grant Salsman. We have Brendan Schaefer. Big thanks to Ron and Rob. Ron and Rob, very similar names. They were great, though.
They were great.
Gave us a lot of great content. Great
What did
things
they
to talk
say,
about.
guys? I can't hear anything.
Well,
over
they
there.
gave us a lot about what it was like to be
They played in
on
this
the-
game.
Right.
on
They
the
played
team.
in it.
Yeah. And like the difference they think it could be between being there in the 90s when they played and now
Yeah.
where things change with social media and all of that stuff.
Right.
I honestly like the similarity between what we're going to see on Saturday versus what those guys played under,
Yeah.
which is a change compared to the recent years of the rivalry. It's not at Arrowhead. It is
No.
back on campus
Uh-huh.
as it was in the
Mhm.
90s. And I just cannot wait to see what that's going to look like. I never did attend one of the games at Arrowhead. I was obviously always watching on TV. My freshman year at Mizzou was the first year of the SEC, so it was the first year that they didn't play this game. And to see it on campus, I'm so glad that we get it first.
Yes.
Like I don't know if there's an aspect of that where you go, all right, that means more pressure because you're expected, as those guys have talked about, to win it when it's at your place in a rivalry game. But I'm so glad that we're going to get to see that version of the rivalry first and hopefully set the tone for the renewal before then taking it back to Lawrence next year.
Now, what we didn't do was talk much about, the bad things that we've saw.
MIZ.
COU, what's going on? Big
Big
back.
Faust
What's up?
ZOU.
And he's fired up.
He's
everybody.
fired up. Big Faust.
Are you kidding me? Is the game time yet?
It feels like it ought to be.
It's been
Oh my
45 minutes.
God, we got to get the energy going.
How are we
I
going to
know,
make
we
it 3
do.
more days?
Oh my
I
God,
mean-
I wish it was here already.
I kind of do
Same.
too. I mean, there's only so much you can say into the lead up of it, but
I'm
that's
sorry
what
to
we'll
interrupt.
continue to
Forgive
do.
me.
No, you're good. I think Kylie and I at work have said about every 10 minutes, man, I can't wait for
Oh
that.
my
I know we
gosh.
have. That's like the only things that come out of our mouth. We sit there, we work, and we're like, "Oh my God, I can't wait to be there." Did you see that SEC Nations going? That's
Yeah.
what I always say. And then
Did
we plan it out.
Did you guys see? I don't remember where I saw this, but Paul Feinbaum basically had
Yes.
to convince the powers that
Wow.
be that it should be in Columbia. He said they wanted to go to Ole Miss, Kentucky, and he said, "Are you guys kidding me?"
Mhm.
He was overhearing a conversation
That's
as
crazy.
he described and said, No, you have to go here. This is the rivalry game of the weekend, and there's an SEC school playing it. So shout out to Paul Feinbaum
thank
for
you,
at least
Paul.
Correct me
understanding.
if I'm wrong. Hasn't Paul kind of had a cantankerous relationship with the Tigers in the past? With Tiger Nation? Am I wrong?
Drinko's on the show. He's been on the
He
show a
loves
number of
drink.
times.
He loves drink.
Yeah, so I think
I'm
he's
talking about Tiger Nation fans.
Has there been? Do you remember something?
Yes.
What was the incident?
Well, okay, I'm kind of boring.
I think most SEC fans
I've
have
watched Paul
problems.
Feinbaum's show.
That's okay. He
I'll
does a great
sit there
job.
and watch him. And I've heard him rip Missouri Tiger fans on the air in the past for us thinking that we belonged in the SEC. And I'm like, Paul, shame on you.
Yeah,
Shame on
it's
you.
a tired narrative. It
Yeah.
really is. Well, what do you think of it? I mean, you played in the big, what was it Big 12 at the time? Big 8? What was
Big
that?
8? Yeah, what was it? Big
I was. We're all younger, so we need a
eight.
history
It was
lesson.
the Big 8 when he was
It
there.
Do
probably
you remember
was.
what the Big 8 was?
No, I was not alive for the Big 8. Neither was Kylie.
I was gonna say, if Grant wasn't
barely
alive, I
alive for the
wasn't
big
either.
I
My
was
kids are
barely.
your guys' age.
Yes.
Oh my God, I got to walk away from this table. Anyway, no, I'm excited about it. Here's
Yeah.
the thing. Missouri belongs. Not only do they belong in the SEC, they're not just making it.
Right.
They're not just like, oh my God, we're gonna just somehow find a way to
Happy
just
to be
drive-
here.
We're not just striving along, we're thriving. Missouri is thriving. And the Missouri money has made a huge impact.
Yes.
Drinkwitz has made an impact. The success has made an impact. And that's what gets me excited about it. Not only this from the success standpoint, but Missouri is checking the box for the SEC in every single category. And guess what? Even the tailgate party has amped up its game in the last decade.
Mhm.
It's freaking phenomenal. You drive into Columbia, you see the stadium, you see the sun shining on Saturday,
Yep.
and you see the black and gold. You're like,
I'm here.
F and
Yeah,
A,
it's gonna be
Dave.
a good day.
I'm
F
just
and
fired
A.
up.
Not only
Vic,
do we
you're-
belong, because here's the thing. I remember what it was like having 30,000 fans. Where we're
20,000.
hey, easy.
Come on, Grant.
Easy.
You weren't even there.
Didn't even say 30. Yeah, what was it after?
Hey, Larry
I-
Smith's first game.
I agree. So
when I
now-
was a junior, we had 60,000 in the
Yeah,
fan.
Okay.
We lost to Tulsa, but we had 60,000 people in the stands. Missouri has changed. They've turned the corner, and that's what gets me excited about it.
When
is
did
the
they
fact
get
that we got
when
it.
did they get respect for that in the SEC? Like
I don't know if we ever get respect,
Think
even
you
if
gotta win
Missouri. Here's the thing, though. But we're talking about the South. I love the South,
here we
but
go.
I hate the South.
Yeah,
Old habits die hard.
they do.
People get sucked into this. Oh, this is how it used to be. I'm not quite sure Missouri, no matter what they do, will ever be, quote, respected
I agree.
by Mississippi State, Georgia, Louisiana, and so forth.
Mhm.
No,
I
I
agree.
just don't know
Mhm.
because we're the most northern school,
Right.
By a lot, too.
and the South has never gotten over the North. They just haven't.
That's true.
Ever, ever, ever.
Now, we've talked a lot about.
Forgive my passion.
No,
tonight.
No, we
I'm
want
sorry.
the, we want the
that. But
passion.
Yeah,
I'm
we
worried
need
you're
it.
going to
We
lose your
need it.
voice by Saturday.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. and
I don't know
thank
if you're going to
you.
be able to sing Mr. Brightside in the fourth quarter at this rate.
Yeah, you have to be able to, Vic.
You know what I'm going to have? My camera. I'm just like
Oh.
videotaping.
You
I
and
don't-
everyone else.
I don't
can
think
have
I
their
want
phone
the
out.
camera out for it. I think I want
is
to
your-
just take
You're
it
gonna live
in.
in the
You
moment.
tell the wife to take the video
So
and you
here's-
take it in.
You guys can tell me and you can weigh in the comments on this as well. Going with my wife, going with
Yes.
my dad, and my toddler son
Mm-hmm.
will be in attendance. Now he's got these little headphones that he wears when they put the fireworks off. He gets a little on edge. So we'll put those on him. But the kid's got a great ear. Last week it was a sellout crowd, mind you, but it wasn't
But by
a
the
KU
fourth
game.
quarter, it
No.
wasn't
Yeah.
sellout crowd.
And people had
It was
thinned out a little
dwindling
bit
out. Mhm.
by the time they played the song. And so we did what I think, responsible parents do, and we gave him some Go Mizzou in the ear during the part. However, he attended games last year. And there's a video on my phone at Raising Cane's after the game, right there next to the stadium in Columbia, where he repeated some things that he heard that day. That's all I'm saying. So I'm wondering, is there any chance to obfuscate what actually will be said there,
No.
or is he just it's just gonna happen because
Well,
this
'cause
is
you'll
the
be
actual
singing
game?
it.
I can't not sing it when
Yeah.
it's the actual game against
Yeah,
Kansas.
yeah.
You've done it dozens and dozens of times.
It's an adult word.
Not playing
Yeah.
Kansas. It's a dada word this week.
Yeah.
Face
But I
them
think I have
toward-
to
face them toward the scoreboard where it says
Yeah, it says
BKU.
Yeah.
There you
Do
go.
you really think they're going to put BKU?
Yeah,
They
there?
will. They will.
put
They've done it
up,
every game.
But they stopped saying it.
Yeah.
Last year they would
They
say
piped it in.
BKU.
I saw the BKU
It was
last year.
terrible.
Yeah,
It's
that was
terrible.
I didn't like it. I'm glad that they. I think
Switch.
it's plausible deniability to put BKU up there, but don't pipe it in the. We just needed to be all natural in this one.
Grant,
Yes.
as much as I want to see this game on Saturday, and as
Yeah.
I'm going to see the beginning of the fourth quarter because I hope and pray that Missouri is winning or at least tied.
Yep.
As long as we're not getting throttled, and I don't see that happening in the fourth quarter,
Please no.
when Mr. Brightside comes on,
Mm-hmm.
I think not only will we hear it in Kansas City, and say at least Moscow Mills in St. Louis,
Sure.
at least, it will be so freaking loud. I'm looking forward to it. My son, who is a junior at Mizzou, is like, Dad, everybody's talking about the fourth quarter. I'm like, are you kidding me? He's like, no, everybody's like, you got to scream and shout it as loud as you can. I'm like, really?
This might be lit.
You have to. You have to.
I'm loving this. I'm like,
Yep.
are you kidding me?
Because were you worried that the current students wouldn't get it?
No, the current, no, not at all, because
Okay.
they're already saying it and screaming
Sure.
it
Yeah.
Every
without
game.
even playing Kansas.
Yeah, so they get it.
And then you put that stinking, nasty West team into the stadium.
Yep.
And if something happens, if there's any like pushing or shoving or any
It's
sort
gonna-
of extracurricular, which could happen in
Sure.
the first three
Yeah.
quarters.
I could definitely see it.
Oh,
You're going to hear it.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And this is why I respect the student base that's there, because they're already chanting that. See, I didn't used to like it because I'm like,
Really?
and here's why.
Okay.
Yeah, why?
Because I was like, crap, Kansas is in our head. And I know a Kansas guy. And he's like, we own you. We're in your head. You don't even play us and you dedicate a whole song to us.
It's true.
And I'm like, crap, you're right.
No.
But you know what? Now, since we play them, my mindset has changed. And I was like, bring it up. Just bring it.
Yeah.
Bring it. We're going to freaking bring it. And I can't wait to hear that. That's what I'm looking
I
forward
agree with
to.
you. Now let's talk a little bit about. I feel like we've talked a lot about everything going on, but we haven't talked a lot about what's actually going to happen in between the lines. I think the biggest story point, and you got to hope it doesn't matter, but in a game this close it could, is Missouri's without their starting kicker.
Yep.
An all SEC caliber starting kicker, and like Craig, Kylie and I were there when he got hurt, and we saw Robert Meyer, the true freshman, come in, and I said it was Brendan who said he popped the champagne off of one made extra point. Kylie, how big could that be
He kind of
for a true freshman kicker?
Grant, I'm so upset. I was so upset when we got hurt. I remember watching the film. We were like, "Oh, he'll be fine. There's no way anything will happen. He'll come back out next game and be fine." It's gonna be hard, and I think they'll have to change some of their plays that they do to get into the end zone so that that's what matters. And I'm so sad for Blake Craig that he's out.
Can I ask an uncomfortable question? 33-0 against an FCS. Why is he making a tackle?
Yeah.
Why
what are
is
you
he should
doing?
take the tee and run off the field?
Oh my
You're the
gosh.
kicker.
He could do snow angels for all I care.
And if they
Yeah.
score,
He's so
it's 33 to
good.
6.
And now his season is over. Like, that's just
I
my
know.
selfish fandom of it. I'm not like, and with the Sam Horn thing, it's like, what are you going to do? Not run your offense? Like, he
Mhm.
gets hurt. That's football. Guys get hurt in football. But the
Right.
kicker doesn't have to get hurt making a tackle in football.
Yeah.
I've got 5 words.
All right.
In Ryder Gooden, we trust. In Ryder Goodwin, we trust. He's the Tigers' new kicker.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I think it's gonna be the
Robert
freshman.
Meyer.
Oh, I thought it was
They
Ryder
signed-
Gooden.
Well, they
He's
signed him. He's a
the
JUCO kid.
emergency. He's if things go
Oh,
bad.
he's the backup?
Yeah,
Yes.
they have a kid who
Did
is
you
ranked.
go with the backup?
I'm
Yeah.
out.
Okay.
He had the name down and everything. No,
Yeah, you had his name
Robert
down. He was trying to
Meyer
make a
is
big
a true
entrance.
freshman that was ranked really prominently in all the kicking whatever.
Wasn't he a 5-star?
I mean, he was
4 to
13th,
5, yeah.
13th in the class according to whoever
I thought he
rates
was a
kickers.
5-star.
Uh,
He just looks, to me, he looks still thin. He doesn't look, maybe
How's
it's
his leg look? That's really all I
Yeah.
care about. That's right. I think his leg will be fine. Drinkus said, "Hey, we're not going to change things," which again, I think is pumping your guy up level coach speak that you have to do. But I also wonder if it gets to push coming to shove and it's a 48-yard field goal out there. If they send that kid out there and he drains it,
Yeah.
can you
The
imagine
place
what
is
that?
gonna go crazy.
In the best scenario,
don't hurt the kicker.
Please don't make well, he's not going to be on the kickoffs. There's another guy doing kickoffs. Meyer's going to do the field goals, so there's not going to be that same problem. But I wonder if that can be sort of a way that you get a little bit of a boost
Brendan,
if the
here's
kid
what I
can
get
kick one
concerned
in the
about.
first half.
Is think about the close games, and Eli Drinkwitz, I think, has the best record in the last 4
they've
years
won them. I mean, they basically won them
in
all.
one-score games.
Yeah.
I think he's won 7 to 10 games in one-score games.
Yeah.
That's because of the
Kicker.
kicking, too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You had Mevis. Craig had some good moments last year, and I thought he was going to be in for a whale of a season.
Yeah.
Drained a 55-yarder in the opener. It's not to say this kid can't kick from 50 plus. We just have literally no idea what the true freshman is going to do. My hope, because I want them to score a touchdown every time they touch the football. I don't want to settle for field goals unless you have to. Get to where it's like a 1-minute drill into the half where like field goal's the best you can do. And
Yeah.
that's when we see him and he hits one from 50. Just because time's expiring, you might as well trot him out there, and the place goes nuts. And it might make it, 13 to 10, but that would be such a huge moment if they can find a way to get him out there.
Well, the thing that I love about Missouri Tiger football fans is over the years, the Tiger football fans have become pretty damn intelligent
Mhm.
when it comes to football. They will know that that's a new kicker.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if that kid kicks, if he gets an opportunity to kick a 38, a 45, or whatever, you said a 50-yarder, the fans know. And that gets you excited as well. And I'm like, okay, maybe. I'm thinking positive.
Yeah.
But at the same point in time, hey, we got something good going on here.
Yeah. Now, what if, does it change at all? Let's say Missouri has a 4th and 5 from, I don't know, the 33-yard line. Okay, normally we trust Craig, go out there, nail a 50-yarder, that's 3 points. Now it's, do we go for it? Like 4th and 3 and less, they probably would go for it either way.
What's the score? Give me a scenario and I'll
Let's
tell
say
you
this
what
is the
Drake
first
does.
quarter, the first drive of the game.
First drive of the
quarter,
game.
yeah. Do you go for it? Do you trust the kid to
From
get
the
you on the board?
33.
It's a 50-yard
0-0
field goal,
game.
4th and 5.
You go for it.
But do you go for that with Craig? You go for that with Craig, or do you get your 3
Do you
points?
take your points?
I'm going for it on 4th and 5.
With-
I would
with
either
Craig
way.
too?
That's my preference is to
Okay.
do it either way, but I don't think it's necessarily Drink's preference. And really, when we
No,
get,
it's not.
He's
I
been
think
very
normally Craig would
conservative.
kick.
What I'm actually more curious about is when it's that like 50 yards. If it's 55, you are sending Blake Craig out there.
Yeah.
In this case, if it's 4th and 5 from whatever yard line makes it 55, it's like the 38. Is there a realm in which they go, hey, we're going to max out field position and punt? That would be
Yeah.
where you
Depending
go
on the game
ultra
as well.
conservative, especially if it's the first half. Trust your
Will you
defense.
stop making some sense from a conservative standpoint?
I honestly don't want him to do that. I'll be yelling from the upper
I
deck
don't
going,
like
what
that,
are we doing?
But it makes sense.
But I'm just saying they have said they're not going to change their approach, and that's what Drink had to say. So his freshman kicker hears that and knows that there's confidence in him. But there could come a moment on a tweener decision in the first half, maybe the second half, where Drink has to say, what's my gut telling me with this? And with kickers, a lot of time, you just kind of do have to go with your gut. Like, I have no reason to believe this kid will or won't make it, but I got to send him out there because it could change the trajectory of the whole entire game.
We're not going to be faced with a 4th and 5 at the 33.
Exactly. Thank
They're
you.
going to
Vic.
dominate.
Thank you,
yeah.
We're
Vic.
going to get the first down on 3rd down.
Why are
We're
they
gonna
going to be on
score.
3rd down? They
Well,
have
we may
both
not even get
Pavula
the-
and Ahmad Hardy on this team. I don't
No,
know.
I'll say this about Craig is Kylie and I were at the game. We were behind the uprights kind of. So it's kind of hard to see from that perspective what yard line they're at. And we see Craig nail a kick.
Mhm.
Okay, he makes the kick. And then he goes, and then we hear the PA announcer go, and that's a
55.
55-yard field goal. And Kylie and I looked at each other like, that was from 55.
How much
Like,
did he
been
get that one
65.
he
by?
got it by 7 or 8 yards
Kylie,
probably.
no kidding.
Would it
Pretty good.
have been 65 maybe?
62?
62, I think.
I didn't have the tape measure
Yeah,
out there
yeah,
to know.
I would say 62. Let's
it
go
didn't,
62
it didn't make
yarder.
it to the net, but it landed
Right.
beyond the
Yeah.
upright.
Okay.
So I go
It was in. No one was like, oh, no.
Yeah,
You know
no,
when
it
you
was
lean
in.
back and you're like, oh, it's not going
I
to
was
get
sitting
there.
like a mile away,
Yeah.
so I wasn't sure, but I
Yeah,
Would you say 60 for sure that was good from?
yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
so.
60, yeah.
Hey, by the way, which
sure.
knee did he tear?
I don't know. Has that been announced?
I didn't see whether it was his kicking knee or the
His plant
planting knee.
I don't know
Plant
what
leg.
I don't know what's worse
I don't either.
I don't either.
for a kicker.
Yeah.
What would you say? You played
Probably both-
soccer.
probably
and
both
you
are
tore
bad.
your ACL. What's worse?
I would say the kicking leg is worse.
the kicking leg is
Okay.
worse.
I wouldn't mind standing on. I wouldn't mind like all my stability being in the other leg. Like that'd be fine.
And which one did you tear?
The left. So I was left.
So did you notice a difference? I mean, I know you're
I
not.
feel like my strength in my left has gone down tremendously.
But your left was your kicking knee.
Yes, my left is my kicking leg.
now, obviously, you haven't been working on it as hard as
Right.
Craig did.
Like,
But I
Craig.
still think it's still for a kicker that big of a leg injury it could impact you.
Does he have eligibility for next year? Like I don't
Yeah,
even
he's only
know.
Yeah.
a sophomore.
Okay,
Yeah.
I
He's
thought
only
he
a sophomore.
did.
So I think technically this could be his redshirt
It'll
sophomore year.
be a medical year
Yeah.
or a redshirt
Yes,
year.
Yeah.
yes. So in the grand scheme of things, if he gets back to full health, he's young enough to where
He'll get
he'll
back.
get his eligibility. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what do we make of the whole QB situation? Because we haven't, again, got the chance to talk. Obviously, I thought the decision was clear from the get-go. It's been cleared up easily.
By injury. Yeah.
But I
It
think
ended it.
I thought it was always Bo. What do we make of Bo, and what's Bo going to have to do in really the biggest game he's ever played in now, at least started and played? Because I think he came in for some plays against Ohio State. He's been in atmospheres like this, which I think is beneficial, but he's never started a game. We saw Arch Manning, his first start against a real school like Ohio State, struggle. Obviously, Kansas and Ohio State, but this is Bo's first real big start in his career.
I feel fine.
Yeah.
I
love
don't
what he
have
said
any
this week.
worry about him.
Neither
either.
do I.
Do you, Kylie?
I'm not really worried.
I'm not either.
I'm more
I'm
just worried about him getting hurt. That's like what's scaring me.
Yeah,
is
but
any injury.
And like I think we feel that more because we know Sam Horn is not available, and his backup now is a true freshman. But
Who, by the way, is a great talent as
Yeah,
well.
he's good.
4-star, 5-star kid. But Vic, your thought on this? Like, don't they have to just run their offense? Part of what made Bo the targeted player that they wanted in the portal is what he does with his legs.
They're not going to. And Grant and I talked about this on our MIZ-STL show last Monday. Eli, Kirby Moore, any coach would not say, hey, you have to be careful
No, you
about
can't.
No. Not with a running quarterback, not with a guy who's aggressive. You go and you do what you can do.
Now, do you think maybe there's a conversation of, okay, Bo, with 3 guys in front of you, instead of lowering your shoulder, let's just slide?
But did you see what Eli said about this? Eli was asked, and Eli said, quote, yeah, I'm going to tell him to run out of bounds, but he's a football player. He's like, I can't force him to run out of bounds. He said Bo's going to do what he does.
Yeah, Bo's
And you
gonna
know
be
what?
Bo, is what he said. Yeah.
So be it.
You have to.
You
That's
can't-
what you like about him.
Just like anything. You don't wake up every morning. You don't go to work scared.
Yeah.
You don't go to dinner scared.
Yeah.
You don't go take your girlfriend out to dinner scared. You don't freaking go on a football field scared. You do what you do. Go out and let it happen.
Now,
And
what-
guess what? Whatever happens, happens.
I agree with you. Now,
What happens if they lose though?
What do you mean?
They won't. But
Kylie, no.
Guys,
Why are you talking about? Why
You
is
mean
that?
lose because he
What
gets
you
hurt?
losing come
Or you mean lose
I'm
because
just
he
saying,
gets
like-
hurt or just lose in general?
in general, like what could happen? Is it possible?
Well, if
I
he
mean,
went
yeah,
out of the
Anything's
game,
possible. But
yeah. Now, I hope that Bo Prabula does not do. I'm going to try to get an extra yard and get a concussion. I'm thinking
the
of the
juice
worst
has
case
got to be worth the squeeze. You know,
Yes, that's one of my favorite sayings.
Like,
Thank you, bud.
That's a good.
like if,
I
if
like
it's
that.
if it's third, you've never heard that one before.
No, I
either?
have, but the way you,
Okay.
I've heard that the
This
the
was back to
rearranging,
Big Show
the
days where
rearranging
you
the desk chairs on the
Okay.
Titanic. I had never
never heard of that
I had
one.
never heard of that one.
But the juice has to be worth
You've
the
never heard
squeeze.
the juice is worth the squeeze?
No, I have. I just
He was
it was
surprised by it
It
though.
was a
It was a
movie. I think
good-
it was
no,
a
it
girl
was a
next
real-
door.
it was
I
a good analogy. In
One
the
time
moment.
on the air, I
Was it the
said
girl next door? Thank you so much.
I said to Grant once on the air that it's like rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic. I don't know what we were referencing. He had never heard
I
that
never
in his
heard
life.
that. Have
I
you?
haven't heard that
So,
either.
But the
It's crazy.
juice worth the squeeze. Like, are you
Mhm.
trying for a yard that it's the fourth quarter and you need the first down,
Or a
otherwise you're
touchdown wins the game.
yeah, like you have to be smart with it. But I also think he's going to err on the side of being aggressive. Bo after the first game was like, "Yeah, I know I should probably
Uh-huh.
slide more,
Yeah.
but what are you going to do?" Like that's what we should love about him as fans. So
He's
I
tough.
you got to live with that, man. What I don't want to see is guys taking free shots at him. Like we had
Uh-huh.
one drive where a couple times he was laid flat.
his helmet
and-
got ripped off.
yeah, and had to leave for a play as a result of that. So hopefully no free shots. Like the blocking up front has to be solid, but otherwise I think you just got to let Bo be Bo.
And Kylie and I were at that press conference, and I forget kind of how we worded it exactly, but it was more of, we'll go look at the tape. And he even mentioned, he
Yeah.
was like, he basically was like, no, I wouldn't have slid on any of those. And then he's like, well, there was
We'll go
one.
back. Yeah.
He was like, there was one. We'll go back in the tape and look. Like one, I don't know the situation. Maybe he had the first down and he lowered his shoulder for 2 more
Hey,
yards.
Grant and
instead of
Kyler,
stepping out.
I was at spring practice,
Yeah.
like Ron was, because our kids are being recruited. So we were able to go up there and check out some spring practice. He wasn't there. What physically did he look like? What was big, strong, thick?
a little tinier than I thought.
Bo
honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
not as thick as you thought.
No. I would say as muscular as I thought. Sam Horn looked like a giant
Yeah,
over him.
Sam Horn is bigger than him. Yeah.
Well,
much
Sam's
bigger.
every bit of 6'4", if not 6'5".
And I
Bo's
don't
like
know-
6'2",
And I don't
or
think
so.
he's every bit of 6'2". I'll
Okay.
say that.
Okay.
So it wasn't that I looked at him and I thought, oh, this is a really tiny guy, but he
Well, I
wasn't
remember
as-
we were in the end zone and we looked out there. We were like, Bo's not very big.
Yeah.
Like, he kinda-
Okay, that's what I was curious
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
He
but it
doesn't
didn't look
stick
like
out.
he didn't look out of like,
No.
place. Like he still was thick, strong,
Okay.
but it wasn't as his height was not 6'2".
Okay.
Well, when you think of Missouri running quarterbacks over the past 15,
Yeah.
20 years, the last one, am I wrong, Brad Smith, that was really a runner like this? Am I wrong? Is there anybody else?
to this level, like
No.
like Brady Cook could run.
Not-
Bo
but it's not
Prabula
the
is.
same.
Yeah, I think that
He
I
was
think he's
a-
got
So
another.
I would say
Yeah.
Brad Smith, and then before that, Corby Jones, right?
And Corby's not a tall, huge
But
guy.
Corby was put together.
uh-huh.
He was thick. And
That's what
Corby
Bo
never
was.
got hurt running. This is my point. Brad Smith was elusive. It was hard to get a good hit on him. He never really got hurt. Our running quarterbacks have never, quote, really got hurt running.
Mhm.
They know how to hit. They know how to get out of bounds. That's why I feel good about him running. I just really do.
Oh,
We'll see.
James Franklin.
Oh, forgive me.
Rockio
Sorry.
is live it in the
Rocky
court. But he
should
was
be-
also
Rocky,
Frank
you
the
deserve
Tank.
my
Is there
headset.
the Penn State coach? Is that what he's asking?
Well,
No,
Kylie.
Wait, what?
Mizzou had a quarterback, James
Oh,
Franklin, when I
okay,
was
okay,
in
okay.
school. So before
Sorry.
you were born, obviously, that was a good running quarterback, but also a real big guy as well. I think he was like 6'5".
I'm not knowledgeable in the history.
I'm,
Okay,
Oh.
guys.
I'm more impressed that you knew the name of.
But
that the guy-
Rocky,
Why are we talking
but
Penn
James
State?
Franklin, as
Wait,
good of a runner,
it's because of Bo.
but
I
he
mean,
was also a thrower.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why. I mean, he was. I still think James Franklin would look to throw first.
Yes.
Matty Mock, he
I would-
kind of had
Matty
more
Mock is-
mobility
he's with
to
Brady
him,
Cook,
but
though.
Hey, and by the way, good luck and congratulations to Matty Mock, who is now the head football coach at Principia in St.
Yeah.
Louis.
nice.
So good for him getting a chance to be a head coach, coming back to the St. Louis area. And I guarantee, you will hear about Principia doing some really good things in their class.
Awesome.
But yeah, Brian Hoffman says, I'm watching you all from South Florida, trying to figure out how to get
Hello.
home for a Mizzou game.
Welcome to
I won't
Miami.
make KU, but we will be watching. Now, Brian, that KU, the K needs to be lowercase.
You do have to
there.
lowercase that.
You gotta lower.
And I
Brady
am-
Cook made a mistake.
I was
today.
going to say
I
I'm
was gonna
nobody
say,
to tell
yeah.
Brady Cook, but he did put a capital K
Uh-huh.
on the tweet that he sent.
Brian,
about.
we appreciate you watching us from South Florida, and we want to take a moment and say Mizzou Central Post Game is brought to you in part by the Legal Buddy app. Life happens fast. 1 minute you're driving home, the next flashing lights are in your rear view. When trouble knocks, answer with confidence with the Legal Buddy app. You can connect to a local attorney in seconds, whether it's a DWI, car accident, criminal charge, or traffic ticket. Download the Legal Buddy app today at legalbuddyapp.com. Register and use code LEGAL. That's code LEGAL to enter for a chance to win a $250 Amazon gift card. Always on your side. That's the Legal Buddy app. They are our proud sponsor on Mizzou Central and all Mizzou Central post-game shows, STL Sports Central. And now we have in here one of the legends in the St. Louis area, Ron Zetcher, the Coach Zetch. And Coach Zetch, you reffed in, do you know how many? Plenty of Mizzou versus Kansas games. Is that right? Oh, as we get your, we got to get your mic. There we go.
Here,
There you
put
go.
it- Oh,
This
you're
way,
fine.
Coach.
Yeah, there you go.
Now put that mic down, right by your right hand,
You're here, right here.
right there, above your.
Yeah, I'll drop it down.
Here we
for you.
go.
All right,
Oh, now
we're
we
good
can
to
hear
go.
you.
go.
Now
Yes, sir.
we can hear you.
Well, yeah, I refereed a lot of Missouri, Kansas games. Going back to Roy Williams
Oh wow.
on the other side and Larry Brown. And I don't know if are we edited tonight?
We're
I don't think there's FCC,
there's
though.
no
I think you're
FCC,
okay.
so we're good.
And I love Larry Brown. And I will not say the same about Roy. But Larry Brown was a good friend of mine when I first started refereeing at the Kansas Missouri games. And my daughter Stephanie, my oldest daughter, and his daughter were really good friends.
Yeah.
So the years go by, and we have a Kansas game on the road, and they get beat. Danny Manning, he's the top dog, right?
Yeah.
So Danny Manning, after the game, they interview him. What do you think, Danny? He says the referees were horrible. And Mr. Zetcher's daughter knows it too.
Oh my gosh.
Oh wow.
Yeah, So anyway, that's how it went. It was all good.
So what was reffing in a game of that, especially in the height of that rivalry? Being on the court for it. We talked to Rob and Ron earlier about being on the field for it. What's it like being on the court for such an intense rivalry?
I refereed some games at Cameron.
Yeah.
And I refereed games at Iowa State, which was a very, very there's nothing, in my opinion, who cares about what my opinion is? number
Oh,
one.
we do.
But
That's why you're here. You took big spot.
no. There's nothing like the field house, Allen Field
Yeah.
House. No,
I hate
nothing
to
like
say
it.
it, but
When you were a referee and you would walk out of that locker room, and you would walk out and you were about that far from the court, and you heard that crazy noise, there's nothing like it, man. I mean, it's a real deal.
Now, if we go to the football side, do you have a prediction for this Saturday? Is Missouri gonna pull it out, or are the Jayhawks gonna come into town with the victory?
And listen, man, I was a freshman football coach at Mizzou, okay? But I will tell you this. I thought the quarterback from Missouri was terrific. But,
Yeah.
but I, as an old freshman football coach, they weren't playing some real good players.
They weren't. They weren't.
This
It
will
was
be a
like
little
the
different.
varsity
You know.
team playing the freshman team.
It's a whole different. But I think they're good. But I also, one of my grandsons is a sophomore at KU, and he's a sports guy. He played, and he said they're pretty darn good.
They are.
It'll be a heck of a game.
Do you have a prediction for us?
I do have a prediction.
Let's hear it.
Uh-oh.
The game will start 0-0.
There we go. He's got
That's
to
it?
play a little bit
Okay.
diplomatic. He's
I
got
like that.
family going
I
to
like that.
Kansas.
Now,
So
do you have a memory of a super memorable Mizzou-Kansas game? Is there a particular one that
Sure.
stands out besides the one you've already told us about
Yeah, I can tell you about one.
that you refed in?
Well, why would I tell you about one that I didn't ref?
that would
Well,
make- that wouldn't make
I
any
think so. I just
sense,
wanted to
Brand.
make sure. I
That
wanted
just
to
doesn't
make
clarify.
sense. I'll
Tell
let
him.
him know. Yeah, I'll let him
Thanks.
know.
Sorry, Zach.
We'll talk
Come
off
on,
the air.
man.
Yeah,
Are you
you have a
kidding
lot
me?
to tell me. Teach me, Brendan.
I'm trying to do a good job for you, and I've had one too many Tito's probably.
Oh, already.
but I'm
I
hanging in there.
really want to hear the
Yeah,
story.
now I really want to hear it.
Hey, listen, let me just tell you, I had a game years ago, the Missouri-Kansas game at the Hearns,
Mm-hmm.
and we had a play in the first half, and it was like a very controversial play. So Norm, he says, I need to talk to you. So we went over there and we went to the scoring table. We went through the whole play, and Norm was wrong. So we move on. Now we have halftime. We're in the locker room, and all of a sudden my little brain, I said, you know what, boys, I had two young guys with me that night. Guys, we should have assessed Missouri a timeout. When Norm was wrong,
Okay.
I said, which one of you guys want to tell him when we go out there? So both those guys, I'm not kidding you, both of those guys had to relieve themselves at the same time. They were gone right to the restroom. So I'm going, are you kidding me? So I go out, and at the time at the Hearns, our locker room was right next
Mm-hmm.
to the team locker room. They changed it later on for good reasons.
Well, yeah.
So Norm's standing out there, and all the Golden Girls are dancing, and blah, blah, blah. I said, hey, Norm, I said, I have a problem. He says, what's your problem? I said, we should have assessed you a technical foul the first half. Not a technical foul. a
timeout.
timeout.
Yeah.
And he said, oh, really? I said, yeah, you were wrong when you challenged us. So we're going to just assess it to start the second half. He said, you know what, Ron? That's a junior high rule. And I got 3 junior high referees here tonight. I said, okay, man, whatever.
Did you give him the timeout?
You're darn right. I gave him a
Norm
timeout.
Stewart in timeout.
And
That's
then the great Roy Williams, when I walked out to start the second half, he walks up to me and says, can I talk to you? I said, yeah, sure. What do you want to talk? I did not like him, but I had to, I refereed for him, but he said, Norm's really trying to screw this game up. So
That was Norm Stewart.
Norm Stewart's the best.
Yeah, we had him on our show. He was great
Right.
still.
Hey, man,
90 years old.
90 years old. When I called him did I tell you this? I
No.
called Norm. So Billy Tubbs' son gave me Norm's number. So I figured I'll call him. So I called him on the phone to see if he'd be on the show. And I call Norm, and he answers the phone. Hello? And then he goes, oh, for God's sake. If I had looked at my caller ID, I'd have never answered his phone. He said, you, oh my God almighty. And then he started laughing, and I love him. I really do.
Well, Zach, thanks for coming on and telling us about that. Is there a score? Can you give us a score other than
he was
0-0?
very diplomatic
He was
the
very
first time you
diplomatic.
asked
But I'm
about it.
hoping that Tito's has coursed through his veins.
Okay, you want a score
I
for
want
this?
something.
Okay, here's my score. Missouri 21,
Ooh.
It's not a big number.
Kansas 7.
Oh, let's go. Defensive
Good.
battle.
That's good.
I love it.
That's great.
Okay,
Yeah,
guys.
I would love a defensive battle.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for
I was-
coming on,
I was
Zach.
worried he was going to predict a
I was
Kansas
worried
win
as
on
well.
the show, and he didn't do that. So aces in my book.
I love that quarterback. I think he's good.
I think
Yeah.
Bo's great.
Are you
You
going
know-
to be there?
Am I going to be
Are
there?
you going to the game?
My wife, this is as far as she'll let me leave the house, honey. No, this, I'm here. And that guy over there, the guy who owns the station, he's good friends with my daughter, Emily.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the only way I got the job.
Coach Jets, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for
Ron,
having
that's
me, guys.
Great as always.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Yeah,
sir.
thank
Hey,
you.
thanks,
Thank you.
guys.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you. All right, so now we're going to wrap it up with kind of the same
Yeah.
thing we just had with Coach Zetcher. Vic, we
Thank
need you back in here. We need to give our final predictions
Oh.
here. We need more Vic.
To kill my mic? Or are we good?
You're back.
Okay, I'm
you're
back.
You're back. I want everyone to give one key to the game
Ooh.
and then their final score.
Okay.
So a key for Kansas, as hard as it is, to help Kansas be successful, and a key for Missouri. And then we'll go around and give scores. Kylie, what would you say a key is?
I think Missouri's O-line needs to get their communication intact and
Yeah.
step up. They didn't look very good.
A lot of hits on Brady.
It's
or
the,
on Poe.
it's the breakdown where it's like it happened over one or two drives and then otherwise was fine. But you can't really have those one or two drives against Kansas because what happens if, A, you injure your quarterback doing
Yeah.
that, or if he doesn't hold on to the football and that's a turnover,
Yeah.
that's an aspect of this game. A lot of times in these close projected games, turnovers can make the difference, and you can't afford that. So
Yeah.
Kylie took the best key, I think,
I
right
think
off the
so,
top.
too.
That's a big one.
Connor Tollison talked about it in his interview, how they need to communicate better, obviously, the center. And so I just hope to see that.
Yeah. What about
That's
you,
my
Vic?
key.
We're going. If you had to give a key to the game for the Tigers to win this game, what's a key? What's something you're looking out for? Kylie said the online communication. Do you have one?
What
in
Kylie
particular?
said.
Yeah. You would second down
I
on
mean,
that?
it is a big one.
It's a big one.
My whole deal always, if you're going to win football games, it starts with the offensive line. Grant, you know me. Where does the football game start?
Run the ball.
Offensive line, defensive line.
You don't want to see that ball go in the air.
The
Run,
def-
run.
The defensive line has to be better.
Mhm.
The offensive line has to be better. That's what I say. That's the key to this victory against Kansas. O-line, D-line. If they improve, they win this game, and everybody else stays the same.
Brendan?
And everybody else wasn't great.
Right.
But if those two positions improve, this is a victory for Mizzou. I'm not going to say take the 6.5 or give up the 6.5 yet, but they
Yeah,
win the
man.
game. They win the
Just
game.
win.
This is not a week that matters whether you cover. You have to just win this football game. And it's interesting, like, I think on paper you'd say, oh, man, the offensive line. We saw Bo get hit a couple of times, and so that's, like, the thing that Kylie brings up, and it's very relevant. I almost feel like on the other side of the ball is where I'm looking at more. Because of Jalen Daniels' ability to escape, you can't let him leave the pocket. You can't let Jalen Daniels do Jaden Daniels-like things to you. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Because if they make him, he can throw and he can run a little bit. And they'll be able to do some design things. But if they let him extend plays, I was close down on the field for that LSU game a couple of years ago with Jaden Daniels, and I still have nightmares about it. I feel like, and I think Corey Batoon, that was a different defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I think Corey Batoon is going to have a plan for this guy, but don't let a Lenore Sellers moment happen like did in the end of the
I
South
thought that
Carolina
was on
game last
purpose.
year.
Forgive me for being a conspiracy theorist, but our defensive coordinator at the time, where did he go?
To get your ass kicked by LSU, yeah,
Where did he go to be the D coordinator?
Maybe.
He
Yeah,
went
I
to
think
LSU.
he did.
He did.
Where did his wife go to school?
LSU.
I still think that was a conspiracy theory on purpose
And then
because we did not assign
it was ridiculous.
anybody
No.
It
to
was
Daniels that entire game as I stood in this stadium with my son going, oh my God, we're not even going to cover
Well,
him
they
today.
tried to spy him, and it didn't work.
It was stupid. And that was the day where I said, you know what, maybe it wouldn't be so crazy for him to be drafted above Caleb Williams. But that's a different story. That's a different story. Don't let the story of this football game be how amazing Jalen Daniels was and how he's a Heisman candidate. And I think Mizzou wins the game if they can avoid those types of storylines developing.
I would agree with that. And I said it earlier, and I think I said this to Kylie earlier today, was make him see ghosts. Make him worried.
You gotta hit him.
Make every step worried. Hit him hard earlier. Hit him after the ball's out. If you hit him hard and you get a roughing, okay, that sucks. But you got to hit him. Make him worried that my pockets, I don't have a lot of time, and I have to break this. and then you break it right into a contain, and then all of a sudden everyone's covered downfield, and maybe he tries to tuck it and he gets hit hard. Just hit.
Have you
him
ever
as
coached
often as you
football,
can.
Grant?
I haven't. Maybe I
You
should.
sound like a damn good coach right now. Grant, I'd run through a wall for you.
He's
brother.
fired up. He's fired up because of
I am
you.
fired up. I'm trying to get you fired up, Vic, and
Yeah,
Am
like
I
we
not
need
fired
that.
up enough?
Like we need that.
But I think just find a way to get to Daniels, because I'm going to be honest, I don't know how great he is. Like I think he has the legs to be there. I think he's the athlete to do it. But it's when you make him beat you with his arm, especially when he doesn't have time to create. I don't think he's that great when things go haywire,
And you have to make it go haywire on him.
and you have to.
And
I
at
think that's the
halftime,
key.
Drinkwitz said he kind of put it into his defense last week to say, we're not in this guy's grill. We're not getting turnovers. We're not getting takeaways. And so both the things happened. They got some sacks. They got some takeaways in the second half. That's what you got to do in this game.
Now we're going to wrap this up with score predictions, but I want to let everyone know listening Saturday morning following SEC Nation around 11:30, we're going to have a live pregame show. Hopefully getting some former Tigers on, some media personalities on to talk about this game. Kylie and I will be there.
Look at that.
Hopefully Vic Faust will be able to stop by. Maybe Brendan Schaefer will be able
We'll
to stop
see.
by. We're going to see what's happening. There's a lot of moving
I
parts.
could drive into
That's
Columbia on
true.
Saturday morning. That's
But-
going to be
You'll be lucky.
What
early.
time should we leave? That's
I'm-
what I'm wondering.
I'm
6 a.m.
legitimately trying to consider leaving Wentzville by 7 a.m. Like have that be the
Yeah.
checkpoint, and because I don't know what it's going to be. I know driving back after the game on a Thursday, and that was a Thursday where it's not a
Are
Kansas
you
crowd.
kidding me? 7 a.m. from Wentzville?
Not to think that I'm not going to make it if I don't leave that early, but
Just
I want
that he knows
to
he'll
take in
make
the
it.
atmosphere. I want to be
F
there.
it. Are you kidding me?
What do you think? Is that too early?
Oh, I hope not. I mean, I hope that's too early. Holy moly.
My
wants to
point
be
is
there,
this:
Vic.
I want to be there. I want to take in the atmosphere,
Okay.
but I also. I don't know what it's going to be with the construction. They're doing a press
Yeah.
conference, I think, tomorrow
Okay.
about this topic,
Yes.
which is you have to enter the stadium where your ticket is located, or
Correct.
it won't even scan
I'm
it.
glad you brought that up.
So, and there's construction
Uh-huh.
along 70. I took Service Road back from the Thursday game because at a certain point there was a couple of log jams. Had to get off the highway and take the Service Road, or I was
Yeah.
going to be there all night.
Yeah.
The travel thing is going to be a thing. So plan ahead.
Yeah, that's
And,
why
you'll
Kylie
be
and I are
fine.
going down the night before.
Makes
I mean,
sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
We want to be down there for SEC Nation, all that stuff. But also following the game, we'll have a post-game show, hopefully a jubilant one with Chris Pelican, Howard Richards, maybe Vic Faust.
When?
Are you
After?
going to be on the post-game show?
Absolutely, I'll be
and
there.
Vic Faust will be there.
I don't know where
I don't
I'll
know if you
be.
have a voice.
My son
won't have a voice.
bartends at Willie's Fieldhouse.
Oh,
So I may be over there.
so you're going to get us in the Willies?
You're going to.
Do you need to get in?
I mean, we don't know. We're not Vic Faust.
If we need to get in, I'll get you guys
Okay,
in.
perfect.
We just need to meet each other outside. I can get you in through the kitchen.
So that will be
It's
after
going to be that kind of weekend in
The
Columbia,
back
though.
alleyway.
the back alley. Yeah, Kylie knows the spots.
But there's
to meet
one
up,
thing
apparently.
one thing we've not talked about,
Yeah.
unless you guys were talking about it with
No,
Ron
let's-
and
yeah.
Rob. This is a home game.
Mhm.
Missouri fans, remember, loud as you possibly can be when Kansas is on offense. You do whatever you can to make it as difficult, reminding Kansas they're on the road.
Yeah.
Missouri fans are loud. Missouri fans are great. This is an opportunity to actually partake in the game. This is where fans can actually be a part when you yell and make as much noise as you possibly can. Because I'm telling you, being a former tight end for Missouri, it is difficult. I remember the days when Nebraska used to be good and they won national championships.
Yeah.
It was louder than hell. You couldn't hear anything playing in Nebraska Stadium. Make it that way in Columbia on Saturday.
I think that's a perfect way
Yeah.
to end it. Let's
I like
get
that.
score predictions. Kylie.
I'm starting. I think 24-17.
Mizzou?
Yes, Mizzou. Mizzou
Win
comes out on
and a
top.
cover. Wow. How
I
about
like that. I'd
Barely
be a fan
cover
of
the
that.
spread, but that's what I think. I don't know. We'll see.
Vic?
30-17 Missouri.
Okay.
I hope that's right. I hope you guys are both right. My score prediction has a Missouri win. It doesn't have a cover, right? I think it's going to be one of those games where it's a real gut
Are you
check.
going
at
to
the end
bet
of
on
the day.
Kansas or are you going to emotionally hedge?
I don't think I will emotionally hedge when it comes to Kansas, but I'm going to say 27-24, a field goal margin. Somehow that kicker is going to have to come up with one.
Oh,
Maybe two.
Well, or he misses that extra point, but we
Okay.
still win.
Dude.
So that's a possibility too. I don't know. 27-24 Tigers.
I'm going to go 31-20 to 17. I think Missouri's rushing attack gets going. I think Kansas plays close to start. I think I could see it tied within 3 points at half, but the Tigers maybe find it in that second half and turn it on.
I hope you guys are all right. I am on pins and needles about this game, but I do think that on paper there is plenty of reason to be optimistic and believe in the Tigers this weekend.
I think so as well. Well, we want to thank everyone who's joined us, especially Ron, Rhino, James, and Rob Riti. And we want to thank Chesterfield Harpos for having us out here. For Kylie Hansen, Vic Faust, who's fired up, Brendan Schaefer, I'm Grant Salsman. This was STL Sports Central, our Border War preview, and we'll have plenty of content. Stay tuned on STL Sports Central.
Yeah.
Brendan and I will be live on Friday at 10 to give you more preview for this game. We'll have a live show Saturday at 11:30 and a post-game show. So much Missouri content. It's not just this game all season long. Us four will all be a part of it as well. And I'm fired up for this one.
MIZ.
COU. I don't know what Rocky
I
was
don't know what
asking
Rocky
me.
was asking
Sorry.
me either.
Same.
But that's all we have today. Big one for the Tigers coming up on Saturday. And this was an STL Sports Central production brought to you by DraftKings.